Welcome to Machismo TV, the ultimate destination for modern men seeking to upgrade their lifestyle. Subscribe to Machismo TV and Saul T-Balls. We stream daily from 12 midnight to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the best male-centric content. Highlight reels without reviewing or providing any editorial bias to the content. We have done so much, with so little for so long, we are now qualified to do anything, with nothing.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
Salute, what's up and what's going on, everybody? Shout out to everybody in the building. Appreciate each and every one of you. Appreciate each and every one of you. Shout out to Truth Only says, check him more like a simp to simp. Checked. I understand how and why you would say that, especially if you understand some of the history. You know, Anton Daniels didn't come, well, when I first saw him, he didn't really saying, he said some things that sound kind of simple. He's either evolved his position or changed his tune on some things. If you know the history, either his content strategy has changed or his opinion has changed. I give him the benefit of the doubt, because the fact of the matter is that a lot of people in the manosphere space have said so much real stuff, and he was tight with Kevin Samuels. So, you know, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt that his opinion has changed, but it's a possibility that his opinion didn't change, just his content strategy changed. And I understand where you're coming from when you say a simp to simp conversation, but I'm giving Anton the benefit of the doubt. The stuff that he says is, you know, generally on point. Generally on point. I mean, I've got everybody got things I disagree with. So yeah, we're gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. Educated Tyrone in the building is laughing at his statement. Shout out to RM says on the way in the building, hit the like button. Shout out to Little Rock. Shout out to Osama Abdu in the building. Shout out to you. Shout out to Young Sellers in the building, says what's poppin', yeah. Shout out to, I already shouted out Truth Only. Shout out to Hood Conservative. We brought back the Saturday show tentatively. I don't know how long it's gonna be there, but we did bring it back for y'all. It's still up. Check it out. Conservative in the building says, shout out to the anti-manosphere. We did talk about that in the previous show. The anti-manosphere space is really strong. It's actually probably stronger than the manosphere. And there's a lot of people within the manosphere. What's left of it that's more anti-manosphere than manosphere. So it's like, what is the manosphere? What's left of it? I don't know. It's just a term that's floating out there. It's like a house with no walls or no windows or ceiling or roof or anything. I don't even know what to explain it or what to call it. But shout out to Patrick St. James. Shout out to D-Rock Den. Shout out to Salty Balls in the building. Shout out. Who else we got in here? Black Rain, RW. Shout out to you. Keep sending me stuff. I'm about to use some of the stuff that you sent me actually. But he says Boyce playing dumb. Yeah. I saw it. We're gonna get into that. Shout out. He says, what's going on, RM? You mind sending me a link to the actual boy? Oh, here we go. Shout out to you. Andre in the building. Shout out, salute. Trying to see if any Zerda says Anton had an awakening. Yeah, I mean, I give him the benefit of the doubt. But it's a long history that you have to know. I remember the first time I ever saw him and what he was saying. You know, sometimes tunes change, sometimes opinions change. I believe his opinion has changed on some things. I think doing that La People's talk show made him understand what some of the people in red pill space that he used to criticize made him I think it made him understand where they was coming from. Yeah, but no, shout out to Anton. He doing good work over there. I try to read one more. He says Anton Daniels is a talented orator, but also I can't go with y'all. I'm glad for the sake of the black male media his tone has changed, but dude is a snake. I won't go. I can't go as far. I can't go there. I can't go there and call that man a snake. But I do understand what you're saying. For as far as black male media, I think he does argue the black male perspective and does it effectively. So that's why I'm cool with it. I rock with it. I lean with it and rock with it when it comes to Anton. He's doing good work over there. That's undeniable. But I know a lot of people that here at the core of my channel probably remember some things that make you have an unfavorable view of him. But overall, no, I rock with him. I rock with what he's talking about. Osama Abdu in the building says, BR, we need at 2 times shows a week. Come on, brother. LOL. I was doing good on a very recent week. I got up to like 5 on y'all. I did 4 last week. I'm gonna try to do at least 5. I got you. But thank you for the $2 super chat. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Osama Abdul, just go look for the video. Quit trying to get links posted in the chat that's gonna get people to leave my chat room. Go look for it. Damn. Saying, where's the original video, you impatient motherfucker? I'm just playing. You know you're my guy. I don't always post a link to the original video in my chat room. All right. I want people to stay here, not go there. But if you want it, go look for it. It's out there. Actually, you was about to find that out, arguably right now.
Go to my page. Since you said more women might follow me or whatever, then
shout out to Ball X. I was going to shout out the person who put the content out. I was going to shout him out. I was going to give credit because I don't know where this is at. I don't know if he pulled up on him on Instagram. I don't know what the deal is or where this came from, but all I know is that Ball X did procure it and put it all in one place. So there's that. But shout out. Who else we got in here? Shout out. Captain Cisco in the building says, I bet you wish you were still in Bitcoin. Man, I've been so out of the loop on that. I don't even know what happened. It shot up. It sprouted up. I got a little bit of money in there. Nothing to make me go run and see how much it's worth now. But no, I ain't been paying. I my head. Shout out to you. I hear that things are happening, but I don't even get excited. Hey, is what it is. But Christian Hutchinson in the building says, Anton is why black men are, let me make that. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Anton is why black men are normal. Don't live publicly or speak out. Boyce and that woman degenerate them and diminish their views / lives. So stay quiet. That was kind of clunky what you said there. Anton is why black men who are normal don't live publicly or speak out. Don't know if I know exactly what you mean by that. Boyce and that woman denigrate them and diminish their views / lives. So stay quiet. All right. My bad. Yeah, I don't understand. It'd be stuff blocking it, like the video that's right there. It'd be blocking it. it be kind of in the way of it on my end. It's like the little part that scrolls across where I got to push play. That's why I had to move some stuff around so I can see it better, you know. Yeah, but my bad. I'm back. Sometimes I be getting my Floyd Mayweather on. Sometimes it be sounding like reading is not all that fundamental to me, and sometimes that may be true. But sometimes I be having obstructed things in the way when I'm reading the super chats. Sometimes, so get off me. Get off my back. I had to go read it again. All right. Let's get it together. But all right, here we go. Hey, delete that, Christian. Delete that. I don't want to give people. I want to give people the way Christian Hutchinson. Yeah, delete that. I want to help out the troll. I'll help out the stalkers and doxers and all of them people. I want to give them no more help than what they already got. So go ahead and delete your comment. Don't give them my exact city. Some people, everybody think I'm from Detroit, and I kind of like to let them think that. Make it harder for them to find me. Because please believe, if somebody from, internet pull up on me at my house, Bernard is not my my actual first name, but if somebody knock on my door and refer to me as Bernard, that means they did some stalker stuff to find me. It's a high probability they will get shot. You knock on my door and you don't call me by my first name. You call me by my YouTube name. I got full creative control to yeah. I'm not even gonna say nothing else. Yeah, I'd be halfway concerned. I'd be halfway concerned that somebody gonna pull up and yeah. People stupid out here. But but all right, let's get into it. It's times I ain't that known, but I was actually in Detroit. I was walking around and somebody saw me and was like, Bernard. And I was like, oh, okay, he know me from YouTube. All right, cool. Yeah, we talked for, we chopped it up for about 5 minutes and then went on our way. That's fine. That happens from time to time. Not that much, but it happens from time to time. But if somebody at my house talking about some Bernard, hey, Bernard, I don't know who the hell you are. You just pulled up calling me. Yeah. Locked and loaded. But all right, let's get into it. Boyce Watkins, it's hard to really trace down the full genesis of how this conversation happened between Boyce Watkins and Anton Daniels. But the fact of the matter is Anton pulled up on Boyce Watkins' stream, so to speak. He pulled up and they got into a conversation about the late Kevin Samuels. Boyce Watkins apparently said a bunch of things about Kevin Samuels after he died that were disparaging. A lot of people that became his louder critics after he died, they still every now and then do a stream where they take shots, throw jabs, the whole works. A lot of them still do that. And that's what Anton more or less checked them for. So let's get into it.
Then you take a look at what some of the ladies said. And I think that women should be heard. Right? It doesn't mean you got to agree. The question is, are you hearing women, or are you just telling women what you think, and that we somehow, because we're men, our opinion is the only opinion that matters? That's the part that's the problem. And that was the issue I had with. I like Kevin Samuels. Kevin did a video about me. I felt bad because he was very supportive, bro.
And I'm looking at this. I think this whole thing might be older, and I think Baller X may have just resurfaced. This whole conversation might be older now that I think about it. So I don't even know if this all recently happened. You see, it just came down the pipeline, and I'm just giving a live react to it. But that's what my assessment here. I think this all might, emphasis on might, be older. But let's go.
He was very supportive of me in the video. But Kevin died alone. Kevin Samuels, the same shit he said about that woman. You're going to die alone. He
you went in on you the minute that he passed away. You started talking junk about him the minute that he passed away.
All right. Now, to my memory, Anton is correct on that. And Boyce be trying to stand strong and firm on a lot of his arguments. Even Kevin Samuels said it himself that Men dying alone and women dying alone is two different things. Men don't care, are prepared to do that. Men are prepared to work until we die. It is what it is. But women dying alone is a whole different thing. A woman dying alone, more likely, you're going to look at her like she failed at life. If a man die and he not, married and don't got a woman and got somebody by his side or blah, 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 whatever, it's a completely different thing. It don't add up the same. Those are part of the differences in male and female that boys like to conveniently leave out.
You know what? I had to be honest. Just like you said, you don't pander. I don't pander.
Well, how can you sit here and say that you rock with
I lost a lot of black male friends but I'm okay with that.
I'm with having smoke for people when they can defend themselves. But how can you speak ill upon a man after he passed away? That's just low. That's low brow, boys. You know it. You cannot start speaking all of a sudden start talking on a person after they passed away. Hold on. Because I know him. I spoke at his funeral, right? I know his mother. I know his daughter. That was low brow. To hear you as a voice of the black community talk negatively about a person after they passed away, that was foul, boys.
All right. The pander game was that strong that a lot of the people who realized that a lot of their simp pandering rhetoric, they were losing market share on that. They realized they were losing market share on that when Kevin Samuels was alive. When he died, they wanted to bring it back and rein it back in, and they start doing streams talking about him, talking junk about him, what was wrong with his message. His message ain't out there no more, so come back on over here. Come on back on over here. That was pretty much the game. That was pretty much the game immediately after Kevin Samuels died. I remember that. I love my ad blocks. That's your name. I hate your name. I hate your YouTube name. You love your ad blocks, but I hate your name. Boyce is a beta simp who married a leftover woman. He about to actually talk about that. Says Boyce is a beta simp who married a leftover woman, and he's was her last resort. It looks that way. It looks that way if you know the history and the story behind that. It certainly looks that way. It does appear that way. Shout out to everybody in the building. Let me check something real quick. Appreciate everybody supporting the stream. Let me try to get at the Cash App. Stacker Starve in the building with a $5 Cash App. Stacker Starve in the building with a $5 Cash App. Do greatly appreciate you. And also, you know who it is. Comes through hard and heavy handed. Salty Balls with a $50 super chat.
Suck on my chocolate, salty balls.
Shout out to Salty Balls. Do appreciate you. You know, you supporting the stream is the only thing that makes me so comfortably say the words salty balls so just fluently. It just like I thought that I would get tired of saying salty balls. But I appreciate your support just that much. But shout out to says Boyce is a coward. He backed down from Corey Holcomb and Corey went at him. Boyce only has smoke for people who are not in a position to get at him. Yeah, it's some truth in that. But I don't know if he exactly backed down from Corey Holcomb. Corey Holcomb was letting him have it. They did end up having a conversation with each other, a peaceful conversation that Willie D had to moderate and facilitate to make sure that nobody get cussed out. But they came in peace with that conversation. So I don't know if it was a outright, flat out back down. I don't know that, but yeah, I see where I understand why you draw that conclusion. I love my ad blocks back in the building. He says, wait, Salty Balls is a worse name. The reason your name is bad, because I'm a YouTuber. YouTubers get paid from people clicking on their videos and the ads that play during, before, and after their videos. If you're promoting ad blocks, you're promoting YouTubers like me not getting paid as much. So yeah, It's personal. Me not liking your name, but I appreciate your support. All right, let's get back into it.
There was nothing I said about Kevin after his death that I did not say when he was alive. And Kevin knew it because Kevin was talking about my wife on his platform.
After they passed away.
My position is unconditional honesty. I don't give a fuck if you're alive or you're dead. My opinion is not going to shift. I did not. No. Let's be clear. I did not dislike Kevin. I specifically gave him compliments. I talked about the good things he did. Man, we gotta defend our women, man. If you got a platform when you're making women feel bad, acting like women are the only ones who can dialogue.
There was so many things going on wrong there. He was saying, no, I defended him. I said nice things about him. Yeah, he always say nice things before he started talking junk about somebody. And the talking junk about him is normally predicated on just defending women. This whole anti-manosphere sphere that exists, is most of it is really about defending women. Some of it is just people just hating and trying to siphon off whatever part of the audience that they can. But a lot of it is just rooted in defending women for any reason against all reason and logic. That's what a lot of it is just predicated and built in and founded on. Very rarely is it, actual objecting arguments that truly disagree and picks apart in a substantial way what's wrong with the points that are being made.
Moving the goalposts.
No, we're not moving the goalposts.
And Anton is right. He accused him of moving the goalposts. Anton is checking him about something very specific. Kevin Samuels died. You pulled up. I mean, you instantly started doing streams talking trash about him instantly. That's what Anton is doing, and Boyce is trying to deflect to something else. He's trying to deflect to, how harmful his statements were. That's why I believe he said, I ain't even about to rewind it, but I believe he said something about you're harming the women or you're making the women feel bad. In fact, I do got to rewind that because that was a simped out statement. Your words are making the women feel bad. We do got to rewind that. We got to run that back.
No.
Man, we gotta defend our women, man. If you got a platform when you're making women feel bad,
as a man, we got to defend our women. If you got a platform and you making women feel bad, we just can't have that. Notice how with some men, it's not a conversation of true or false, correct or incorrect. Like that's how men should operate: true or false, correct or incorrect. No. You having platform, you making the women feel bad. We have to defend our women against this man who made them feel bad. When that's your compass, when that's your North Star, it makes it to where the level of being genuine, how much you really stand on and believe the words that are coming out of your mouth, all of that is brought into question. If you have a faulty, shaky compass like that, that's predicated on how women, the people with the most volatile emotions on earth, feel about something that's being said. When that's the case, then it's hard to take anything serious after that. But shout out to Will. He says Boyce is a coward. I already read that one. Shout out to you. Appreciate you coming through. Appreciate you coming through. What's that one? Salty Balls in the building says ad block. Keep my name, rather salty balls out your mouth. I felt a lot of. I don't know if you was going that way, but I felt Will Smith energy on that one. Will Smith sitting front stage at the Oscars with all them people with white ties and bow ties, and he yelled mouth with a PH at the end of it. Out your mouth. Can't be putting a PH on the end of mouth with all those white people in ties and suits and dresses and stuff. That was just inappropriate. But anyway, shout out to you. Shout out to everybody in the building. Appreciate you.
Like women are the only ones who can dialogue.
You're trying to move the goalposts. You're moving the goalposts.
No, we're not moving the goalposts.
Once a person passes away. First of all, it was fresh off of his death, and his mother is grieving, and his daughter is grieving. His friends is grieving. People that actually care for him is grieving. You piled on in the death. That's lowbrow, Boyce. Listen, and I said it. I don't care if people say anything about a person when they're alive and they can defend themselves. He got a platform. He can say whatever it is that you want to say. When somebody passes away and people are grieving and you piling on in the same way that a lot of these other women that didn't like him, and you say that you like him, but you validating how it is that that's lowbrow behavior. I will never talk negatively about a person that cannot defend themselves. Or if I don't care for somebody, I'm just gonna not say nothing at all. I'm not gonna talk negatively about somebody.
So right there in that situation, after what Anton did, after Anton laid that out, he argued it into a position where the only thing Boyce could either do is admit that, yeah, it was too soon. I should have held my criticism in this moment. What you typically see, people typically don't do that. What you're going to see in this situation is him just keep trying to move the goalpost, or just deflect it to the arguments and points that Kevin Samuels made that he personally disagrees with, of which there's an acceptable time to have an acceptable conversation about that. It's more than an acceptable time to have an acceptable conversation about that. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. But he's not gonna properly acknowledge was laid out there by Anton.
But it's okay. But it's okay to tell women who are gonna die alone that they're gonna die alone.
It's okay to tell women who are going to die alone that they're going to die alone. It's okay. It's okay to tell someone who's going to get cancer from smoking cigarettes that they're going to get cancer from smoking cigarettes. The message and point in everything that what Kevin Samuels was saying after he talked to a chick, based off the decisions that you've made, the decisions that you're consistently talking about making going forward, and everything that you're doing, everything that you're laying out, everything that you're saying, all of that, when we add up all the math and all the numbers, it will lead to you dying alone. That's why he didn't say, I want you to die alone. He said, go get a dog and die alone. That's what's going to happen based off everything that I have assessed. How's it wrong to make that assessment? How? Sway?
They call into your platform. You forgetting one thing, Boyce. You forgetting one thing. They called into his platform to get his advice. He did not ask them.
But they did not call in to get abuse. They did not call in.
No. Every single and you're not giving him credit for all the women that he actually helped, because he has statistics and he had facts. He had people that he was actually getting to the finish line. And see, we don't talk about that part, and you still move.
Hey, look, okay, yeah, okay. Let's end the ball beef. I love my ad block says my balls are bigger. You don't want the smoke. I believe he's talking to salty balls. Yeah, but his balls are saltier though. I'm just playing. See what y'all got me doing? You see what happened when y'all super chatting, y'all back and forth ball discussion? Y'all get me into it. Keep that to yourself. All right.
On the goalpost. The fact of the matter is, it does not matter what happened when somebody was alive. Us as people with a platform, we should not be talking about people fresh on their death in a negative way, and then at the same time you sitting here talking about, well, I liked him. You can't have both. Either you was rocking with him and you liked him, or you didn't.
No,
but if it was somebody,
I don't. But that's.
I will never do that. I will never do that.
But let me correct you. I don't do that with anyone. There's nobody that I think is perfect. I'm not a follower. I don't rock with somebody else.
Feminine Melon says, why would you say that like you know that? Now his name is Salty Balls. See, it was a play on the words of his name. That. Okay, we're gonna block and time out. Any discussion of balls going forward in the chat room? No more talking about balls. Okay, let's do that.
100% or hate them 100%. I talk about the nuances. And I think with Kevin, what I always said about Kevin was the exact same thing I said before he died and after he died. I was consistent. I might be an asshole, but at least I'm a consistent asshole. As I said, he's a brilliant guy. He did great work, but he realized his channel took off when he told that lady she was going to die alone. And right before he died, he said some shit about, like, when you over 35, you're a leftover. Nobody wants you. Who the fuck thinks that shit? That's bullshit.
We can go back and forth.
Women in our community.
I'm not.
All right. It's blowing me away the level of just how pissed off he's getting by the things that Kevin Samuels says. It legitimately blows me away. Like, it's not a controversial statement. Like the whole term of leftover women, like that is a term. It's not here in the States. It's from somewhere else. Some of y'all know in the chat room. I think they call it that in China. That women over a certain age, not married, they call them like the leftover women. That's what it is. It's not a controversial statement that, especially when a woman in America is getting to that point over 35, she over 40, got a couple kids by a couple men, never been married. She over 40, overweight with a couple kids by a couple men, never been married. It's not a controversial statement to say that her prospects or ability to get married is infinitely less, just like it's not a controversial statement to say that a man who's over 40 and still broke, his prospects of finding a long-term relationship with a woman that's going to truly respect him, that decreases. Like, we can make statements like that. We can analyze the social dynamics between men and women in a sensible way and make true statements and don't care who it hurts. And it's either true or not true. False or it's either true or false, correct or incorrect. Like, that's what the conversation should be amongst men, not how women feel about it. And that's where he keeps centering it. His compass is how women feel about what's being said, not valid or invalid, not true or not true. It's like, what do you do with that? How do men even think and process things? Like, if their moral compass is based off the volatile emotions of women, it's like you're done at that point. You're dead in the water.
Do you believe that? You believe a woman is worthless if they're over 35?
We can get into that.
Hold on. In the whole concept of whether or not a woman is worthless when she gets over 35 or over 40 or whatever it is, what Kevin Samuels used to always say, and I wholeheartedly 100% agree with this, if a woman is over that age and got kids, but she got over that age and had with the man that she had the kids with and they've been together, then yes, her value hasn't, she was a single woman, yes, her value would decrease, but she can gain value. Women gain value in the relationship. They gain value while they're with that man. That woman who's turning, over 35 or over 40 or whatever, while she's with that man, her value is going up to him because she's been there with him from the beginning by his side, hopefully doing what she's supposed to be doing. She can become invaluable. Her value could not even have a cap on it to him in that situation. If she's been there by side through all that time doing everything, it don't matter if she's 35 or 40. She put in the time and the work and the effort and been solid. Men appreciate that and value that, but just a single with an A, not an I, a single woman walking around over 40 with a couple kids, her value is not a whole lot. Like, those are simple concepts. Those are simple concepts that nobody has a debate about. Dark Bushido in the building says, Moist, referring to Boyce Watkins, calling him Moist Watkins, is a cleanup man. He is an effeminate simp. No one should take relationship advice from him. Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that.
What do we get for $10?
Do appreciate
everything you want.
Do appreciate it. All right. From the Chinese, the definition for leftover women, if I understand it right, if I'm reading this correctly, it says leftover women or leftover ladies is a term popularized by an All China Women's Federation. So women did this. An All China Women's Federation that classifies women who remain unmarried in their late 20s? In their late 20s and beyond. They calling you leftover in your late 20s. The average marriage age out here is pretty much 30. I think for white women it may be 29, black women maybe 31, something like that. But they saying, yeah, you in your late 20s now. You done. You left over. You know no good. Your eggs are no good here. Your eggs no. Your eggs are no good here. We can't do anything with that. Shout out to you, Dark Bushido. Shout out to you. It was another super chat that I believe I missed. If you can find that when RM put it up on the screen. But all right, let's go. But notice, so Boyce keeps trying to make arguments, and I'm taking the time to refute his argument or, explain what's going on. Anton ain't really going for that. He's staying focused on, he's keeping his eye on the prize. He's basically going to go somewhere along the lines of, we could talk about that, we could debate this or debate that. I'm focused on this one thing that I need you to properly address.
I'm not here to defend Kev because Kev's legacy speaks for itself, in my personal opinion. He said what he said. People can agree with it or disagree with it. I used to have conversations.
I already read that one. Shout out to Will. I already read that one.
On the phone with him all the time, where I would personally disagree with him on some things also. But I will never let that come out into the public because that's not what friends do. If I was holding Kev accountable or if he was holding me accountable, then we held each other accountable privately because we truly rock with each other. So I'm not here to defend Kev because Kev can his work speak for itself. I'm saying that that's lowbrow behavior to speak on somebody. That would be almost like somebody bringing up Kobe's issues as far as what he dealt with when he was dealing with the whole rape charges upon the crashing and when he passed away.
They did. They did.
That wasn't the time for it, Boyce. That's when you pass away, people are grieving. They are grieving. They trying to remember the best of whatever it is that they have left of the person because it was an unexpected death. That's not right. It's just not right.
Let's be clear. I don't think I talked about Kevin until the time had passed. I didn't talk. It wasn't like I did a video right when he died and said breaking news. Kevin Samuels died, and this is why I'm. I wasn't happy about it. I wasn't, but I did use it as I was thinking about the people I care about, which is mostly young black men and young women.
Bruh, if you saying that about Kobe, given all that we know now, that was back in 2004. All of these chicks hadn't been yet exposed as outright liars back then. Like, people actually believed. It's funny, people actually believed all women. People were more likely to believe all women before the Believe All Women movement. Right now, no, we need to look at everything with a certain degree of skepticism. He said it was consensual. She's saying it wasn't. Nah. Given what we know now, I don't know how you going. I don't know how you going on that one. Given what we know now. Nah, we've seen too many lies. Way too many. I ain't about to get into it, but let's go.
And I said, and I wanted men to understand that men die alone too. Men who don't invest in family, they die alone just like women.
You see how he just keep deflecting away. All he got to do, look, the conversation could be over. All he got to do is just concede the point. Yeah, my bad. That was wrong. I was being an opportunist. Somebody who I didn't like died. Somebody who a lot of my audience listened to died. Let me take this moment while his name is in heavy circulation, and let me use this as an opportunity to criticize him as much as possible, to try to make sure I win back anything that I lost or maintain everything that I got as far as an audience base. Like, he can just own that and then the conversation is over. But he's not. He keeps trying to go back to the arguments. He wanted to try to rope him into a debate over the talking points. And I like a good debate over the talking points, but Anton is smart for not taking a bait on that. That was real smart of Anton in this conversation. Don't take the bait on the talking points. Nail him to that wall. Nail him to the wall on how wrong you were or how wrong you weren't for launching all these criticisms and kicking dirt on the man after he died. That's what he said focus on.
And so with what happened with Kevin, I hate it. It was me being overly logical. He was a logical guy. I think he could understand this. The reality is that we need to stop acting like it's only women that can die alone for making bad relationship choices. Men, we do have a privilege. Black men, we have a huge privilege because statistics show that the percentage of marriage eligible black men to black women is highly disproportionate because of mass incarceration and all that. So men like you or
actually, no, it doesn't. He's defining marriage eligible all the way up into the, the women who are somewhere in the vicinity of, like I think Gen X at this point is like 43 to 57. It's more of them. Black women outnumber black men when it comes to the 43 to 57 demographic. He's counting them as marriage eligible women. When you get down to millennials and even before that, it's like no. It's like no, the numbers are roughly give or take the same. So that's incorrect. That's 100% incorrect. And then when you lay down the, what makes a woman marriage, eligible for marriage? What makes a black woman eligible for marriage? I think she just has, for Boyce, I think she just has to be black and a woman. Maybe on the last part. All right, I ain't gonna go that low on Boyce. So I think you just got to be black and a woman to be eligible. But to be a man and be eligible, I'm pretty sure there's probably some loops and hurdles, but I don't know his exact position on what will make a black man, eligible. But I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure being black and female is the only requirement for a marriage eligible black woman. So that's how we can see an imbalance. All right, let's go.
Men like me that are at a certain age, that have money or whatever, you got the pick of the litter. Women are everywhere. There was
See, and I was right. He said men like me that got money and everything get the pick of the litter. That's what he said. Those are his words. So what he's saying is that a marriage eligible man is a super uber through the roof. I mean, a marriage eligible black man is a super just uber through the roof successful black man. He probably would tweak that if pushed. But it would definitely be hurdles that man must leap in order to be marriage eligible. But I guarantee there is no hurdles. And we're going to find out another clip I'm going to play. She could be a baby mama with 7 kids. And I forgot how old that chick was. I don't know if she was over 40. But to him, that's marriage eligible. There's no such thing as not marriage eligible for a woman on his part. So you got to always average that into the equation where a lot of these people be talking about the amount of marriage eligible black men versus marriage eligible black women. Yeah.
Supply of women. It was too much, right? But that's why I wanted to get married. I didn't want all that no more. So the thing about it is a lot of women that are gonna die alone, whatever we want to call it, it's not because they were hoes or they all made bad choices. It's because there's an imbalance. And I think that you got to talk about that.
Define that imbalance. It's not enough 6-figure black men to marry all the women who leaped over the hurdle of being born with ovaries.
Man, you can't just talk.
I'm pretty sure that's his argument.
But I just wanted to make sure that I addressed that I didn't think that was right. I mean, we could debate anything, or not even debate. I don't even want to say debate, because debate is, you taking a position and I'm taking a position. I'm open to the possibility that I'm wrong, and I'm open to hearing you. And after this conversation, I'm also going to take into consideration everything that you say, because I do think that you're intelligent, and I do think that you make some interesting and good points, right? But we can have a conversation about anything. I just don't agree with the way that you addressed it. I thought that it was, I think that you're better than that.
I really like what Anton doing right here. I mean, I was criticizing Anton at the beginning of the show. I do like what he's doing right here. But Lord Commander of the building, he says the old all the good men are in jail argument. Yeah. We've picked that apart and we debunked it. I don't even gotta rehash that one. I don't even gotta rehash that one. Yeah, that's essentially what he. is arguing just like black women argue. All the good men are either gay, dead, or in jail. That's the argument. Excuse me. That's the argument. All the good black men are either gay, dead, or in jail. All right.
Okay. Well, thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. And the feeling's mutual. And I want. Well, thank you for saying that. I appreciate it.
About anything, I just don't agree with the way that you address it. I thought that it was consideration everything that you say, because I do think that you're intelligent, and I do think that you make some interesting and good points, right? But we can have a conversation about anything. I just don't agree with the way that you address it. I thought that it was. I think that you're better than that.
Okay. Well, thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. And the feeling's mutual. And I want us to, I'm glad we're connected. I want to say that because I do believe in conflict resolution, and I appreciate the fact you came in.
All right.
When I see your commentary, I see a lot of stuff that could come off as woman bashing, right? Like that, just the little video that I shared on my Instagram about Umar hit it, so hit it. Then you threw that little thing, but Boyce didn't hit it. We know we ain't worried about Boyce. You're right, and you're right. Boyce ain't gonna hit it because Boyce was not out there.
I have no idea what they're talking about on this part. The person who put this together said this is bonus information or something like that. Basically, Boyce, after they made it to the end of the whole Kevin Samuels part, at least I think it's at the end. We're gonna see if something else happened here. Then Boyce is like trying to call Anton for saying things that he assessed to be women bashing. We're gonna play this part and we're gonna get into some more Boyce stuff. So just stay tuned.
Boyce, right. You know the difference between joking and then also putting the medicine inside of the candy. Listen, if it's that easy for me to get it, I don't feel that special. Because he hit it, and Dreadhead hit it, and Umar hit it. Boyce didn't hit it. He didn't have a chance. We ain't worried about Boyce. And the favorite football player hit it, and the basketball player hit it, and the homie from the hood hit it.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop it right there. I don't even know what they're talking about right there, and that's running copyright risk. Now, it is something else that I do want to get into, and it sort of alludes to what we was talking about here, or what they was talking about. Y'all saw this video right here. Of this chick. Let me pull it up. Shout out to Oshay.
This young lady went to this
video. We don't need O'Shea's commentary here, but shout out to Oshay for piecing together the clip for me. Shout out to Oshay piecing together the clip for me. I'm trying to skip through his commentary, but what happened here in this video and then Boyce Watkins' response to this video is more or less what really explains aspects of that conversation.
Podcast event, and she has a very interesting question that she's going to ask. Let's play that clip.
Mom of 7, and I'm 33.
Okay.
With being a mom of 7, do you think that a woman of multiple children is still capable of finding someone?
First, let me ask you before I make the statement. Do the kids have the same father?
Yes, they do.
Okay, well, that's a good thing. Okay, so this is hold on. We're talking about 7.
That's a damn miracle. 7 kids all by the same man. It really make you wonder, how the hell do she leave him? Because I know a lot of people very stupidly think that in that situation, that means that the man just walked out on and abandoned his kids and abandoned his family. But no, I'm willing to bet 9 times out of 10 that she was the one that left him and took the kids with her. We debunked the whole idea that, men be abandoning kids. I always ask the question. I'm going to keep asking it. Whenever I ask it directly to a woman, I get interesting answers. Did he leave you and the kids, or do you leave him and take the kids with you? Now, it really makes you understand and acknowledge there's something that it's some nonsense going on there when you see, if something is wrong with this dude, but this woman stayed for 7 whole kids. I have a hard time reconciling that he was such a problem she had to leave, but you just kept having 7 kids with him. You just was pregnant for like a whole decade. Like, that's crazy to me, but all right.
Children, okay? This is no offense to you, because it's absolutely possible for you to find a quality man. What makes it a tad bit difficult is that you have to find a man who has the financial footing to take care of you and several children.
Several children as his. to take care of a woman that he got several children by. Not somebody else's nuts that they bust. Like, no, that's not how I work. But all right. Lord Commander, he says I read that one. Shout out to Lord Commander. Shout out to y'all. Make sure you subscribe. If you're new here, subscribe and hit the like button and all of that good stuff. If you're new here, subscribe. Hit that like button.
And then you also have to be able to find a man who is going to be willing to come in and create structure in that household. 7 children on one person is a lot to create structure in. So there's a lot that this man is going to have to come in and do. On top of that, creating a secure space for you when you have to be a mother and you have to take care of the majority of the things that happen in a house. Are you going to have the ability to be able to love this man in a way that he needs to be loved, in a way that registers as love to him when you have to love 7 other individuals?
Now, 7 kids, well, I think we can assume this woman is 35. Throwing it back to the previous conversation, do you see why Kevin Samuels was referring to them as leftover women and Boyce Watkins is blowing a gasket about it? Because, like, do you see what has to happen in order for them to not be left over? Do you see what's going on? It's pretty obvious. Look up the actual definition or the original practitioners of the word leftover women. They say it over in China, they saying it as, late 20s, you're left over. All right, she said she was 33. Okay, cool. All right. Over in China, they saying they calling it leftover at 28. 7 kids. Lord Commander says 7 kids. She belongs to him. There are no other men. Yeah. Agreed.
These last $2, I'm not gonna lose.
Human chapter, that was something that I didn't average into the equation. I was too fascinated by the idea, the notion that, okay, she got 7 kids by the same man. If he was so bad to where y'all can't be together with them 7 kids, I was just processing how do you sit there and continue, having kids by him? Like that's all I was processing, but I wasn't even going that route. But that is a safe route to go. that is definitely a good road to drive down in that situation. The over under on all 7 of those kids passing the DNA test is very shaky. So I feel you. I wasn't even thinking about it from that perspective, but trust me, you ain't tripping. You ain't tripping. But she's 33. To have 7 kids at 33, like, if you take the 9 months to be pregnant, and then the downtime in between kids, it's like, it's no other way around it. It's like, basically, for a whole decade, you're either pregnant or carrying a newborn on your hip. It's like you, because when you got a newborn, you might as well still be pregnant the way you got to be carrying them, the way that they depend on you like that. So it's like this woman legitimately basically was essentially pregnant for a decade. Allegedly by the same man. It's like, what it makes you wonder some things. All right. Lord Commander back in it again. He says, only a hero only a hero can save her. Super simp. Yeah. You gotta be a super simp with the cape on to save that. But all right, let's go.
You're going to need a man who can love those children as his own. Yep. That is a huge responsibility to put on a person who does not have those children. Those are not his kids. Right. But if I were you, no disrespect, I'll try to work it out with the father.
Now let me keep it real quick and acknowledge this before we get into Boyce Watkins' response to this video. Let's make no mistakes here. This video was produced by, I'm trying to get a shot of him because he was barely in the video, so I may not be able to find a clear, clean shot of Ace Metaphor, but just know that Ace Metaphor was like Derek Jackson's right-hand man. He may not like that label. That may not be 100% accurate, but there we go. But they was business partners. They was essentially business partners. They used to go on their little world tours together, doing shows and the pandering to women shows. That's what Ace metaphor is. Ever since Kevin Samuels blew up, when he go and do his events, I forgot what he call it. They will. It's still a lot of the same simping, but they will smuggle in some real stuff that I would be remiss if I didn't point out that came out of essentially the black manosphere that they hate and criticize. When he basically enlisted Mr. Let Go to come on stage with him and make manosphere type arguments. And we know, if you go know the history, Mr. Let Go used to make more simp sounding content. And then when Kevin Samuels blew up and they saw that it was marketable, they saw that you can get views and grow a following off it, he kind of changed his tune and start talking more manosphere and red pill while criticizing the manosphere and red pill. It's like a lot of them do that. But even so much real shit was said within the black manosphere spaces that they essentially had to adopt and gentrify some of it and put it and work it in with they simp shit. So her concluding that with, you need to go back to the dad, that used to never happen. I mean, on shows like that, stages like that, Derek Jackson type events, that would never happen. Her smuggling in that very truthful conclusion. You got 7 kids, you need to go work that out with your dad. It used to be consistently, well, yep, you need to leave him and go find somebody that deserve you. That's what the conversation used to be. So I will consistently say that the black manosphere did basically say so much real stuff to where we forced the hand of the whole simp content creation community to have to not simp as hard, even though they still simping. They still simping. Let's not get that twisted. But they had to change their tune just a little bit. They did. But all right. But the one person who ain't changing the tune is the good Dr. Boyce Watkins. And I believe we got his reply in response right here. Shout out to Oshay for putting all of this in one place for me. Do appreciate you.
She emphatically denied that, as you can see by her body language. But then there's somebody else who gave their honest opinion of this interaction. That was Dr. Boyce Watkins. And he did respond to it like this.
Second piece here. Children are a blessing, but you don't understand that what a blessing children are until you get to a certain age and a certain level of maturity.
Children are a blessing. Your own children are a blessing. It's okay for men to not walk around looking at other people's kids as a blessing to them. It is perfectly fine for men to walk around like that. He deliberately makes no distinction between children and your children. Men have to look at it like that. We do. There's no other way around that.
The problem you have in your community is that you have a community that really lacks masculinity. So you have a lot of men who cannot even fathom the idea of doing the work required and having the maturity required to be able to manage a group of children.
Yes, men do have the ability to do the work required to manage a group of children. It's called being a father. It's called being a dad and taking care of your own kids. You can't keep equating the two. You can't keep equating going to take care of somebody else's kids and call that masculine. Now, taking care of your own, providing for your own, yes, that is part of the masculine responsibility of a man. But you can't remove masculinity from men because they don't want to engage in the activity of taking care of someone else's kids, particularly somebody who got showing up with 7 kids. In the conversation we just played, him and Anton was he was arguing with Anton about Kevin Samuels' concept, not Kevin Samuels' original concept, but the concept that Kevin Samuels used. I think one of his last videos before he died was a conversation about the concept of leftover women. That's what he's fighting against. How dare you call them leftover women? And then here he is defending the honor of a single woman out on the market with 7 kids, talking about what prospects she have to find a worthy man to come in and take care of her 7 kids. Now, I will say this, just to be fair, if a woman was, married and got 7 kids by, by the same man, by her husband, and they got a divorce, marriages, don't work out sometimes despite greatest efforts. Okay, there is definitely more sympathy to that. But typically a woman out there single on the market with 7 kids, she was on some bullshit. There's no other way around it, but let's go.
They never saw it. They never had it. They never engaged with a real man on a daily basis. They never had a man step in for their mother. So they really think that their job.
Never had a man step in for their mother. You see how the talk goes. That is the de facto responsibility or call of duty in the Black community for a Black man to step in for the mother of some children, the Black man to step in. Funny how they know how to find that Black man who's going to step in. They know how to do a horrible job when it comes to picking a father for their children, but they know how to knock it out the park when it comes to picking a stepdaddy for their children. Shout out to Sierra and many others. But if they can knock it out the park when it comes to picking that stepdaddy, that means they know a decent man when they see one, which means all the babies that they had along the way, no, I don't look at them as victims. I look at them as volunteers. And these aren't evil men who trick them. These are decisions that they made. And we need to look at it like that. And even with that, I understand that sometimes 2 good people can start a family and it just don't work out. And that, that happens. But when the out of wedlock birth rate is that damn high, or we can look at it and call nonsense on a lot of this. Let's go.
Is to go around, spread your seed, put your penis in every girl that moves, show up to her house just to have sex and eat dinner, and then go home and put your penis in every girl that moves.
Back up.
Never had a man step in for their mother. So they really think that their job is to go around, spread your seed, put your penis in every girl that moves, show up to her house just to have sex and eat dinner, and then go home and literally reject these little children, these little souls, these little innocent kids that might be looking to you for mentorship or leadership. Now, I'm not here.
Now, what he's doing right there, and this is where he gets real disingenuous. He's making it seem as if the person who draws a logical, calculated conclusion that I'm not going to go and do the stepdaddy dance, that he also has to be some dude who out there just going from house to house with just a dude out there just slanging it, just running through baby mamas and over there eating dinner and leaving, leeching off of them, doing so. He basically just gonna call it. He gonna depict the dude as a homosexual. That's what he's gonna do. If you're not the stepdaddy or the daddy that step up, then you bottom of the barrel when it comes to just having morality or whatever. Like, that's how he wants to depict that thing. No, it's a lot of guys with decent moral character, responsibility, accomplished, running businesses, earning good money, taking care of themselves, doing everything, doing the things that a masculine man is supposed to do. But they still don't want to raise nobody else's damn kids. Like, talk about that guy. Don't make it seem like the guy that don't want to raise somebody else's kids is also the serial impregnator, because that's kind of where he's about to go with this.
I'm here to tell every man how to be a man. I can't.
Lord Commander in the building says, yes, our community lack masculinity to prevent them from choosing Pookie in the first place. Masculinity is prevention, not clean up. Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that.
Can't do that. I can only talk to the men who want to be men and those who already are there. The little boys I can't deal with, but I can tell you in our community, you have a lot of 45-year-old teenagers out here. You have a lot of men who don't want responsibility for anything. They can't even take responsibility for themselves.
If you're not willing to go raise somebody else's kids, you're a 45-year-old teenager who can't take responsibility for yourself. Like, that's where he argues from. Remember when I said that if your moral compass, if your North Star in these conversations is how do women feel about this? Women feel bad. Now I got to argue on behalf of their feelings. and whether or not they're feeling emotionally hurt by the idea and the notion of something. Like if that's your compass, then everything that you say is going to end up being invalid.
So the idea of imagining taking responsibility for a group of people, being a leader, leading a group of people, that's beyond their comprehension for some.
Imagining taking responsibility for a group of people and being a leader, that's beyond their comprehension. It's plenty of men who have made the calculation and drawn the conclusion that they're not going to do the stepdaddy dance, but they are also in situations where they are leaders, that whether it's at their job, whether it's at their business, they got a leadership position at the company that they work for. They're leading men, they're leading groups every day, but still draw the conclusion that this whole stepdaddy dance mixed with government assistance and the whole works, all of this are things that enable and help them to be comfortable in their bad decision making by the men not jumping on board and also making a bad decision. Like, deal with that guy. Deal with that guy who makes a calculated decision, but who is also responsible. Don't try to depict him as a homosexual with no responsibility. Like, that's not who you're fighting against. So that's where he's into some nonsense right there.
Some of them. So I can definitely say this. If I was talking to the woman and she wanted my 2 cents, I would say, well, if you're going to get a man that's going to help you with those 7 kids, you better find you a real man. You better find a man that knows how.
The undefined real man. When real man is defined as whatever women want, when they want it, how they want it, for what reason, against all reason and logic, if women are saying that they like it, then that is a real man. The man who bends to the will of women. That's essentially what that ends up being. When you try to break down what the definition of real man is, that's essentially what it ends up being.
Gotta hustle. You better find a man that ain't scared of hard work. You better find a man who understands responsibility. You got to find a man who has an investor's mindset where he understands that investing in young people is a good way to protect himself in old age. It's a great contribution to the community. You have to find a man who's got real masculinity. Masculinity is not just smoking a cigar. You see guys running around smoking cigars and growing beards because those beards literally are beards. The beards are fake.
Hey, I can't help but think that he low-key talking about Angry Man. I'm sorry. You say you see guys smoking cigars and growing beards, because when he be having these conversations, he be taking shots at other podcasters and YouTubers. I can't help but think that wasn't a shot at Angry Man. I could be wrong. That could have been a random statement. That could have been a random statement. But I can't help but think that was a shot. Let's run it back.
To find a man who's got real masculinity. Masculinity is not just smoking a cigar. You see guys running around smoking cigars and growing beards because those beards literally are beards. The beards are fake masculinity used to cover up false masculinity. It covers up their weakness. It covers up their insecurity. So they think that that's masculinity. Drinking liquor, smoking cigars, and growing a beard. That does not make you a man. That does not make you masculine. What makes you a man is having strategic thinking, intelligence.
Anybody who does not want to do the stepdaddy dance got to be in that category. What do you say? Drinking liquor and how let me replay the levels of depravity. Shout out to everybody on the panel. I'm gonna get to y'all in a second. Hold on.
Up their insecurity. So they think that that's masculinity. Drinking liquor, smoking cigars, and growing a beard. That does not make you a man. That does not make you masculine. What makes you a man is having strategic thinking, intelligence. What makes you a man is the ability to work hard for your goals. What makes you a man is being able to compete in the world. What makes you a man is being able to lead properly. What makes you a man is being.
And there are plenty of men who believe that all of those things make you a man. What makes you a competent, productive man. And they also don't want to marry. They also don't want to take care of somebody's 7 kids. Like, that's the flaw in the argument. I'm gonna play the rest of this, but what's going on? We are joined by a few individuals here. We got Christian, Hood Conservative, and who is the other Young Sellers in the building. Young Sellers in the building. Shout out to you. Yeah, we're gonna go to Christian. I'm gonna move that to where we can see y'all a little better. But go ahead, Christian. What's up? What's on your mind? What you got on this?
So shout out to Anton. Detroit represents, so if maybe we can get the craziness out of Atlanta, Black YouTube to a relatively real world normal place where not everything is just nuts. Anton, see, this is why I don't like considering making this stuff about me all the time. But this is remember when I popped up in your show the first time, announced myself probably 2 years ago now. Anton, what is happening to Anton right now in terms of the woman and Boyce and all the people who are going to co-sign their side is why Black men who are quote unquote normal are not doing things, because Anton is doing everything that we say that.
Wait, time out. I need a timeout. When you say what's happening with Anton and the woman, I don't know what you're talking about right there.
Oh, the way this all kicked off was that he responded. He responded. Ed did a play-by-play. Anton responded to this woman who basically didn't agree. He didn't agree with how she was managing her dating situation, and he was talking about he was talking about the dude. The woman got upset and said a whole bunch of disparaging things about Anton, called him an incel and all this other stuff. Boyce jumped on it. This is a whole thing that's going on. It's all jumped off over the weekend. So basically, what you have happening here is Anton is doing actually what they're saying they want Black men to do. He got out of high school. He got a job. After he was working a job for a little bit, he got married, and then he was working, and they were doing the married life, had a family, had a kid. They hit a couple little hiccups in terms of he lost his job. He reinvented himself. He went back to school, and he's now doing very well for himself corporately. And then he built up his YouTube platform, and he's investing in business. This is all the things that you're saying that you want Black men to quote unquote do. And he's talking to people about this in hindsight of he's 42 years old or so. And he's saying, okay, I'm looking at how I played out my life. I'm trying to say this is how things work, how to do things, what's maybe the best way to do it. Maybe I did something wrong. I give you better advice. And because it hurts people's feelings, like Boyce and his audience listeners, or that woman he said that stuff, he reacted to her video, they're going to shout you down. Meanwhile, he has relatively, I'm not saying Anton's perfect. There's a lot of things you can say about Anton. But at a high level, this is what if Black men were doing this, the median household income, the median wage for a Black man would not be $50,000. It'd be running towards $70,000 to $75,000 like Asian men would be if they were following Anton's blueprint. You would be getting the high earners that you would be looking for, and a lot of these conversations would be moot. But guess what?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't engage in the effery, and he's not going to co-sign the effery because he understands the problem that comes with it, they're going to shout him down. And Boyce should know better. Boyce has been a university professor. He's on the South Side of Chicago. He should know better. And I'm not saying he should co-sign Anton, but he should be able to at least be like the pastor or the bishop on Sunday morning and say, hey, we got to try to do certain things because that's going to, align with certain things. But it's so far gone, you can't even do that anymore. And that is why this is frustrating. Sorry, I'll stop.
Oh, no, you good. You good. Young Sellers in the building. What's up? What's on your mind? What you got on this?
How you doing, brother? Hey, I ain't been too long caught on to your channel, bro, and I appreciate everything you're doing, and I appreciate the guy. I didn't catch his name, but I appreciate the guy who just got through saying what he just got through saying, because Cub was saying some real things. Check game though. It's the issue where I come from. All right, boys. It's funny. It's people who got a lot to say but don't know how to really direct it, or they're so smart they direct it in a way where a lot of people can catch it, but not the ones that really needs the message. What are you saying? Trying to become a man or to be a man, you can only be born a male, and to take on the man mantra is to do things to make sure you're proficient, you're sufficient, and you can take care of business. Well, you got this guy on there talking about to be a man, you need to do this, to be a man to do this, to be a man to do this, to be a man to do that. You opening the door for people who trying to make it work, young man, people who lost no fathers or whatever they want to call it. I'm just speaking on, me. And like you'll sit there and be like, man, you telling me I'm not a man? I I make sure I got a job. I don't cater to these women like that. I treat my girl right, but you telling me I'm not really a real man because I don't want to take the responsibilities of a person who got multiple responsibilities on their own so they can not feel the repercussions of their choices? Nah, bro. No, you trying to you what it sounded like to me, he was trying to make it seem like if you're not willing to take the responsibility of your choices, to take the repercussions of a woman's choice, because we're talking about, you know what I mean, like when what he was just basically saying, like
Yeah,
a
no,
real man.
I get
Yeah,
exactly what you're saying. He
like
tried to equate anybody who won't take on that responsibility. He tried to equate them with borderline degeneracy, even
because
though
like
even though it was probably some degeneracy that led to that woman being in a
hmm
situation where she got multiple kids by multiple men and needs somebody to come and save the day. He don't want to talk about
hmm
that degeneracy, but he want to make a degenerate out of the man who's saying, no, I'm not going to go dive on that
right,
grenade.
right.
That's really the problem with everything that he's saying right there. No doubt
And
about
that
that.
doesn't
No
make
doubt.
sense. And that doesn't make sense. Like I got my GED. I ain't worried about shit. I got my GED. Then got my GED. Went to college. Got my degree and stuff. Took care of it. Associates. Still got my independent computer business. And I did my best to fuck with a female that I knew from childhood. I tried to fuck with her. She had about 6 kids. Same father. 2 sets of twins with 2 kids. You see what I'm saying? So it was 6.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I rocked with you from the beginning. I ain't gonna knock it. It is what it is. You take care of you, I'm take care of you. I got you. We gonna make it work. It comes to the formality where I'm not gonna be looked at as I'm not a real man because I ain't want to take up her responsibility. It's like if she's not coinciding with the vision, if it's going
All right,
against
man. I'm sorry. I'm
you,
sorry.
it's over.
I
Now I'm
gotta
done.
cut
That's
you.
it. I'm
No,
done.
no, no,
I'm
no. I just
done. That's
gotta.
it.
No. You're not done. You're not done. I want to know, how did it turn out with you and Mrs. the 6-time
All
baby
right,
mama? How did
all
that work
right,
out?
all right. Check game, real shit, no bullshit. So it was actually pretty. It was good. I had a good job working at PF Chang's, working this shit full time, knocking this shit out. Still was able to keep my studio and make sure that she was good. Now the thing what came around, she kept on like trying to get me to leave my job to live with her. Listen, I gotta make sure I got my money so I can make sure if I do leave, I'm gonna make sure we gonna go somewhere where we can afford. She want me to leave my shit, go to her Section 8 government, funding. No offense to her, but that's how she made it work with what she had. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. And that came up as an issue, so I'm like, well, I'm leaving alone. I got all told like, well, you're not responding, you don't have faith. And I'm like, what the fuck a grown man look like who's got some structure, trying to make things work, helping you out, just to throw all that we got going to try to beat? That don't make any sense, bro. So you can't
Yeah.
say you can't put it as a real man will take up the responsibilities of others when they don't even know the responsibility that it took that they got into, bro. That's
No,
crazy.
I know. I hear you. Yeah, no. I when you had said it, I thought the job was already together and living together in the whole works and
No,
everything. But no,
because I've been knew
but
her.
if
Yeah.
you had your separate spot over there, she was on her government assistance. She wanted you to move into her government assistance situation
Mm-hmm.
and basically live with her in her house off the record, so she could still stay on assistance. Like
Mm-hmm.
y'all could be over there hood rich, where you making normal person money from a job, but she got Section 8 6-time baby
Yeah.
mama bills.
That
Come
ain't
over
it.
here so we can live hood rich off of that. That's what you was trying to do. And yeah, you was right. You was right for not going to mess with that. No,
And you
no,
telling
yeah.
me I'm not a man because I didn't want to
Yeah,
do
but
that?
hold
That's
on. But
crazy.
I'm gonna pass it though. But no. Nice story. I'm glad you quit messing with her. Go ahead, GC. You got it.
No, actually, I wanted to comment more on his situation because it goes into the second man theory that I talked about on my show, which I think that he was. But let me ask you, when you say studio, you mean like a music studio or a recording studio or what?
No, I'm in a studio apartment.
Let me ask you this, and don't take any offense to it because
You
none
fine.
is intended. Okay. Do you feel that without government assistance, you would have been able to support 6 kids?
To be frank with you, of course not. That's the reason I didn't jump off on the whim, But
Right.
I also felt that if I had more, like, just hear me out, if me and her was actually had more time, she was more patient with what I was setting up. I would have got at least a 2 to 3 bedroom area, and we could have made that work as that. But it was because they was still infant. Like I said, it was 2 sets of twins. So they was like, well, I know it's gonna get bigger later, but you get what I'm trying to say. It was just gonna take time for me to make it work because I really liked her. But no, I knew at that moment in time, no. But that's why I had to leave it alone because you're trying to rush something that I'm not ready for, and I refuse to put you down because you depended on me, but you're not listening.
How old was her youngest kid?
Her youngest children were 1.
Her youngest
1.
child was 1.
Yeah, because she had 2 sets of twins.
Oh, because
Her
they were
two
twins.
oldest
Yeah.
was like, yeah, her 2 oldest were like 5, 6. You had 2 sets of 3s and
Her
2 sets
wait,
of
wait,
1s.
time out. How long was y'all together when before she started trying to get you to move in with her?
We were together for about a year, but I knew her coming up through school. It was on some. I was almost a step on some shit.
Was she pregnant when y'all met?
She ain't been on had the baby. She ain't been on
Okay.
had the twins. She ain't been on had the last set of twins.
Okay,
She
because I was
still
like,
has
say,
stitches.
She still has stitches. Yep. Y'all asking the right questions. I'm telling you the answers. You ain't saying that wrong.
That's some interesting math. If she was trying to get you to move in, y'all been together a year, and the baby was 1. That mean you hollered at her when she was 9 months pregnant.
She tried to catch me as her last option. Like I said, we was I'm not even trying to preface on it. For real. We was literally talking in middle school. And when we got older, we just lost contact, but I still fucked with her because she was cool. And then when I found out she had them kids, I'm like, oh, well, damn. I'm adopted, but I see what's up with this. It ain't gonna hurt me on shit. I got my own place. This is what it is, as long as she act right. And as long as she just didn't have no patience, she was on some extra shit. Like, I'm not finna live with you on your Section 8. That's just dead ass. It sounds so crazy, but I'm being honest. It's stories people don't talk about, but dude,
You was right.
No.
You was right to not go move into her Section 8 apartment. Yeah, you was right. But
Pie says you dodged a bullet. I want to describe the bullet that you dodged because I know you like her, but that relationship was almost destined to be over in one of 2 ways. One, you increase your income, which would put you out of the range to qualify for Section 8, which means that she would dismiss you. Even if you had enough money to support 6 kids, she's not going to risk those kids' well-being and move them in with you. And then kick her out and she'll be in the back of the Section 8 queue. So she's not going to do it in the case that, you do get the funds to support 6 kids. That's one instance that the relationship would end. The second one that it would end is when the youngest kid in 17 years turned 18, when the youngest 2 kids turn 18. Then she's going to look for someone to support her because Section 8 no longer will. If you aren't capable of doing that at that time, then she's going to leave you and look for somebody like Boyce Watkins, to be quite frank. I mean, so no, honestly, Boyce Watkins.
You're accurate.
Yeah. Boyce Watkins is what's known as the third guy. The first guy is the guy that impregnates the chick. The second guy is the guy that the second guy, in this case, the would-be you, I should say, would be the guy who pays for everything that the government don't. That is, hair, flat screen TV, cable, things like that. And, some Christmas presents underneath the tree. That's what the second guy, that's what she wanted you to do. She just wanted you to be there and pay for the little extras that food stamps don't cover. But then, once the government, snatches the rug from underneath her, she's going to need more. And that's when she hopes for somebody like Christian or Boyce to pick up the slacks.
Why you going to put Christian name in this stuff?
I'm just mentioning. No, I'm mentioning a high earning person. A high earning person.
Yeah, somebody who can afford it. That's why I caught what he meant. I caught exactly. I see where you're going. You ain't driving off the line. I got you. And I think it was now. I wish I had that understanding. I wouldn't even went that far. But now knowing what you just said with that, I'm like, well, okay, I wasn't wrong with how I felt because I'm like, damn, did I just ditch her? But I'm like, nah, I'm not finna. My whole thing was personal as a man, to be honest. I'm like, bro, I'm not finna put myself in a situation where I know I bite off more than I can chew with someone who's ungrateful with the food that I'm catering. Because all I'm trying to do is just make sure we straight, and that just made me like a whole. Well, pardon my language. That made me like a pookie ass nigga. Cause I ain't got it, and I'm just gonna be riding off you. That's not it. I'm not doing that. That's no. I'm no.
Well, what do you mean by you would have been riding off her?
No.
Like you said, you had a job, right?
Yeah, no. I got a job. Like I said, she wanted me to drop all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Go like okay, because this is a job. I'm a PF chain. Been working there for like 3 years. Drop all of that. Go move in with her. Find a job around where she's at.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, that's what that's I said it so fast, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not making nothing extra. You can bring back. Yeah, she wanted me to drop everything just to, and then work and bring it up and get where I'm at by myself to keep like how he just basically broke it down. When the government can't cover, you'll be the cover, but you're not the guy that I really want. You're the guy that I need at the moment. That's basically what it seemed like how the game was going because you're not listening to me. And I'm not telling you to do nothing wrong. I ain't saying leave the kids somewhere, take the kids to your baby daddy. I ain't saying none of that. But you ain't listening to me. You just want me to just do what you say do. I don't understand that. I wasn't raised in that type of house. You know what I mean? That just they don't feel right.
No, I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, trust me, it is a scam. I've seen it so many times, you know. And I've seen it with, you know, me being the prospective third man. You know, these chicks come in and I was like, no, I see what you're doing, you know. So and there was a time when I was a prospective second man like yourself. So yeah, it's, you know, I see the way the game is played, and you were right to avoid that, and you didn't do anything wrong, and you're not obligated in any way to take care of her 6 kids at all, you know. And it's not a coincidence that she got with you before her stitches even healed. I mean, that's mighty convenient. That's a little too convenient in my book.
And then my frustration, it just kicked up to me like, bro, it didn't even matter because I tried to fool myself as a man. I'm gonna be honest, like as a man, like a young man, I'm 32. I'm not that young, but I know how it is. You know what I'm saying? And like I tried to make sure, like, I'm like, okay, maybe it's just my ego. Maybe I'm just tripping. But then I'm like, bro, there's too many kids. Even if they were mine, I know it'd been a better situation if they were mine. It wouldn't be like this. So I can't be stressing off no stuff, and I'm not doing what you want me to do because it's not enough, but it's enough, but it's not enough. And you want me to do everything? Let me go ahead and just get my job and leave you alone, baby. I tried to fuck with you, but it's over. So you can't say these hoes, bro. You can't say these folks. And I hate to call one of my friends like that, bro, but it's over. You just can't. You just can't. You can't. It's over. Save yourself.
How many baby's fathers are there?
To be honest, 2.
Yeah. Okay, because she had twins, so
so
4 of them were born. So 4 of them were born from somebody else. Then
4 of them were born by the same person.
She was
and the other 2 was with the It sounds crazy. When I went over there and visited, just real quick. But 6 kids. I was fucked up. I was like, damn, girl, shit.
Well, it's
all right,
not
let me play
because,
Oh no! I was about to play the rest of this real quick since we
go ahead. I'm out. Go ahead. I'm be quiet.
On the conversation. Let me just. I think it was close to being done anyway.
Able to take responsibility for something. That is literally a universal metric of masculinity, even amongst mammals. They measure masculinity by how much territory you can control and how many people you can actually hold down.
See, he's making that argument. He says masculinity is measured based off how much responsibility you can take on you, but he's making the rubric be other people's responsibility. It's not based off how much other people's responsibility that you can take on.
Wait, what other mammal? What other mammal?
Well, he said other territories. I mean, I'm not going to hold. You know, people be doing.
No. Let's hold them because I don't like idiots with PhDs. So let's hold them to it. What other mammal do some shit like that? Lions will downright kill the step kids. They will literally delete the step cubs in front of the lionesses when they take over. What other mammal behaves this way? No, hold him accountable to hold him to this crap.
No, you're right.
Rabbits
right.
don't. Rabbits do not behave that way. Like I can't think of a mammal that behaves that on some stepdad crap. I truly cannot. I truly cannot. Yeah, bears. I do not know. No, that's just crap. He's full of crap.
He bullshitting.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I
exactly.
agree. He tried to pivot it to how much territory they could conquer, but he was still talking about the same thing.
What other
so
mammal group conquer territories? Like cows,
well, okay,
lions
got their territory, and another
no,
some other lions come in
territories.
Well, no, lions have they play their territory, and other lions come in there. It's usually a fight. He tried to merge that with the stepdaddyism, so he tried to merge two different things. That's why I missed it. But yeah. But anyway,
yeah, lions.
That was weak. That was weak because we're humans. That's why we call ourselves humans and not animals. But okay.
All right, Hood. Thank you for coming on back. I saw that you had dropped down. What did you had to add to the conversation here before we play some more of this?
Well, one, I want to just comment on what's being said right now. I think predatory animals they do territory. I don't think animals that eat leaves and shit worry about territory. And so once you kind of acknowledge that, you have to acknowledge you have to acknowledge the cutthroat nature of it all. And men aren't really encouraged to operate cutthroat when it comes to women. So all the animal comparisons really do fall short if you want to actually live in a society, or to even compare it to the society that we live in now. We don't really get far with the animal comparisons. You know, even the whole alpha beta thing only gets you so far, right? But
agree.
I think bigger than that, beyond all that, remember we were talking about the rise of the anti-manosphere and everything. And I think we got to just hold the line. I think hold the line is probably the most important idea that we could even consider right now, because it's like I explained it to you before, in the context of all these conversations and arguments, like, Boyce, you are in the position of someone who wants. You are in the position of someone who needs. I neither want nor need anything from you, Boyce. I actually don't care for you. And so with that being said, you have to offer me something. Make me a deal or shut the fuck up. That's all.
What do you mean by make you a deal? Like what deal could he possibly make? Let me make sure I understand exactly where you're going right there.
Well, one, that's the trap in and of itself, because you can't you have no plan and you don't care to come up with one, Boyce. And so that the question is almost a trick question in and of itself. And then two, the nature of the problem is so huge and almost intractable that for men to get caught up in petty conversations about how to date this person or how to 12 steps to keep your marriage going forever is all goofy. Men want a better deal, and that's the only conversation that needs to be had. Anybody talking anything other than making a better deal for men, you're not saying anything worth listening to. So I go back to my initial point: make me an offer or shut the fuck up.
Yeah, he's advocating for men to just take the present bad deal that's on the table. When you really you can go back and forth about any little thing. That's essentially what he's saying. Here's the offer. Yes, it's bad. Take it anyway. That's essentially his argument this conversation was predicated on a chick with 7 kids that's out on the market, and what kind of man could step in and fill in that void or whatever. Go ahead. I saw somebody else trying to say something.
And remember, he doesn't care about us dying alone, right? Men dying alone is never a cause to make people do anything, right? A man dying alone is not going to move the needle on your clock any faster. Now, women dying alone, people lose their fucking minds. And I say let them die alone until you listen to us. How about that? How many women have to die alone before you actually think about what men want? Let's play that game, Dr. Boyce.
Let me roll a little bit more of it.
So a lot of your men are weak. They are the beta to the white man's alpha. They don't know nothing about taking leadership and nothing. All they know how to do is be pleasure seekers. All they know how to do is show up for the sex and dinner and then go home, because they don't want responsibility for anything, because responsibility scares them. So I'm not saying that every man needs to go and take responsibility for somebody's kids because you're not you may not be qualified for the job, but I am here to say that there are millions of children in the black community. There are millions of kids who, through no fault of their own, have nobody, no man that's protecting them. There are millions of children out there, and what is really fascinating to me is how many people.
Go ahead.
When he says to no fault of their own, it's also no fault to our own. It's not our fault that the mama made that baby a bastard. It's not. It's not.
Yeah. Boyce is this.
Oh, my fault. Go start over. I muted you. It's like somebody cutting grass over there, Christian. I didn't. Well, go ahead. You got it.
Yeah. So Boyce is in game chair. I didn't mean to cut you off, but see, Boyce is. This is the two thought processes that are out there. There's one thought process is that, look, the job of black men is to protect your seed, as you would say, be a productive citizen, and you have your own family that you are responsible to take care of. Okay. And that is the path forward. Then you have people like Boyce Watkins. What they're saying is, look, the patient is in the emergency room and they're bleeding out, and we need the resources to stop the bleeding. And it doesn't matter how they started bleeding, that we just need the resources to fix the problem. And it doesn't matter that you aren't a heroin addict, or you're not a drug dealer, and that's why they're in the ER OD'd. Okay. Your job is to provide them the resources for them to get on the right path. And see, that argument makes sense when it's a certain percentage, okay? But when it starts being the overwhelming default, people who are on the other side of quote unquote normalcy are not going to engage. Like, you cannot convince a person who's done everything that they're supposed to do that they are now going to have to put themselves at a disadvantage for the greater good. Okay, especially in mass. It's one thing. It's like their individual situation. Like, as much as we talk about the Russell Wilson Sierra situation, Russell had baggage too. Okay, he was divorced. He didn't have a good rapport with the black community. Him marrying Sierra got him currency in the black community, and
That's like
I laugh.
Currency in the black community. That's like you got some choice. Some Chuck E. Cheese tokens. Like that's about as good as that currency is.
No. I mean, the black community is judging him harshly. That's why I laughed. I mean, the black community, at least the black men, are judging him harshly.
All right, so to Russell, before he dated Sierra, would he get invited to the BET Awards or the Essence Awards? Could he show up at the BET or Essence Awards, or could he show up at a black-based community?
What does that have to do with his quality as a husband potential? I don't get that.
Oh, no,
Chuck E. Cheese tokens.
What I'm saying is, I
think you just buy the tickets.
No, when it comes down to it, you are a black person in America, and you're tied to the black community in a lot of ways, whether you want to or not. People in part of your racial, ethnic, religious group, you're tied to that group in all sorts of ways that you basically can't get around that. Okay, so in his case, there was a strategic advantage for him getting with Sierra or someone like her, whether she had a kid or not. The kid at their income level is moot. Okay, they have more than enough money to take care of the kid. Yes, for a guy who's making $250,000, that's an ER doctor. Taking on someone's kid matters, because that is money. They don't have unlimited amount of money. When you start talking about people who make 10 figures a year, it doesn't matter. They can take on 50 people's kids. It won't matter. Okay. What Boyce is trying to make the argument is the patients in the ER, and it doesn't matter how they got here. We should all be helping them. And the thing is, when it gets to such a large percentage of people in the ER, it's now that you're not addressing the root reason why they're in the ER. You're now encouraging the behavior. That could be, they should be wearing a seatbelt. Why all the people coming in here have a cracked skull? They're not wearing a seatbelt. Maybe we should enforce seatbelts. That's what this argument is, that Boyce is saying treat the patient, and we're saying treat the cause.
That part I agree with. I was hold on, wait, real quick. I just want to say that part at the end I agree with. I'm gonna let it run. Some of the stuff you said about the Russell Wilson Sierra situation. Yeah, I disagree on that one. But go ahead, GC.
Okay, so treating a patient is one thing, but what they're asking for is the organs of the doctor. So basically, if a patient needs a kidney transplant or something like that, and the doctor says, "Oh, I'm compatible, I'll give them mine." See, there is a line to where you will treat them so much. Now, what they're suggesting, what modern day would-be stepmothers are suggesting, is that you give time, money, resources that would be available to your own kids, to kids of another, is essentially what they're asking for. And that is where Black men are now starting to draw the line. Every dollar you give your stepkid is a dollar out of your natural born kids, whether it's their college tuition, whether, it's them, their school clothes money or whatever you want to call it. It is money and resources and time taken away from your natural born kids. And just like, an analogy that you gave, if you were to donate a kidney to someone who is not family, then what happens when your own kids, when your own kids get sick and they need a kidney or something like that. So, you have to be careful where you distribute your resources.
Yeah. Real quick, before I play some more of it, what do y'all think about
no matter how fast?
Before I play some more of it, what do y'all think about him making that statement, they're beta to the white man's alpha, by every measurable way? No matter how he tried to piece together that argument, he would also have to be talking about his goddamn self. If somebody who's Black is beta to the white man's alpha, he would still be in that category.
He is. He's attempting to tap into the shame that Black people feel from our conquered history. Same as Cynthia G. It doesn't really work because you're right. He's in that category. But I mean, if being alpha is taking care of somebody else's kids, then that's exactly what slaves did.
That does. That literally.
Frank. Like
taking care of somebody else's. I'm sorry. Well, taking care of somebody else's kid does not take that beta to the white man's alpha off of you, if we even accept that paradigm, which I don't. But it was just a dumbass argument on his face. But I'm sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No worries. I mean, and once again, that's why it's important to thoroughly critique somebody with a PhD, spitting nonsense, because that is nonsense. That's his way of trying to shame you into stepfatherhood. It's like, really, does taking care of someone else's bastards, make you an alpha? Because, like, what animal kingdom does that happen in?
It only happens in one. My bad, game changer. It only happens in one, and they call you a cuck. That comes from that damn bird that takes over the the other person that fertilized the egg, the other person or the other bird that fertilized the egg. That actually happens in the animal kingdom, and that's a cuck.
The male bird lays an egg. He lays an egg in that nest where the other male couple already is inhabiting, where now the original male bird thinks he's taking care of his own egg, but it's really that secret nigga's egg. That's really where the whole cuck thing came from. It's actual animal observations. Yes.
Okay, good stuff. But I did get lost when you said, maybe you misspoke, or maybe it's something in nature I don't know about. You said the male bird lays an egg. Did you say that on purpose?
Well, it probably fertilizes the egg.
No, I totally misspoke. I totally misspoke. He impregnates the female bird who's already partnered with a male. Yeah, I totally misspoke. I didn't even catch it myself.
Because I am aware that there is a bird. I didn't know it was called a cuck, but I was well aware that there was a bird who will lay their egg in another bird's nest, and then that female bird will sit on and tend to and basically nurture to term the other bird's kids and think they're hers and feed them until they're ready to fly off and leave the nest. That is a evolutionary survival.
I think the problem
your seeds can flourish. But anyway, go ahead.
I think the problem is that because the way bird couples work, a lot of the male birds actually do a lot of the, stay at home birding. You know what I mean? And so you wind up as the male bird putting food into another nigga's baby. Like it's a literal thing, and that's why lions just say fuck all that. I'm killing them niggas. There's no question about whose food this is, and we're not gonna have any of those problems.
But look at the irony though. In nature, hold on, real quick. Look at the irony though that in nature they have to trick others. They have to trick other organisms into doing it. It's like there's no willful doing it. By the way, it's like even the lions who kill them or the birds who don't know no better. They have to get manipulated and tricked to get the wool pulled over their head, do the fancy egg switcheroo trick or whatever. They have to trick them into doing it. Like so that's what Boyce is doing. He's trying to trick us into doing the shit.
Hey, BR, but that's rare. When it does happen, right? Because we can look across the animal kingdom, and the hood's right for the lion example, or whatever. Most other people, when they take over, they assert their dominance and all that stuff, and they kill the males, especially
Yeah, I know, but birds are not, they don't got canine teeth or whatever. They can't just kill each other. But there are videos of birds actually rolling that egg out of the nest. So like again, they can't kill the young, but when they know that it's not their egg, they roll it out of the nest, it fall, it die. Or they may I think they do push it out after it's born. I've seen videos of similar things happening. So in their own way, they do what the lion do. But really quick, shout out to everybody who support the stream. Do appreciate each and every one of you. Let me try to make that to where I can see it. It says, shout out to you. Shout out to you, son. Is how Rod says, beta to the white man alpha. He's a beta to the China man's alpha. Didn't he get sunned by his Chinese business partner a few years ago? I don't know nothing about that. I heard about it. So shout out to you. Do appreciate the super chat.
Oh, the fiendish Dr. Wu. I remember that. That was hilarious.
Yeah, dude told him he had to cry to get more black people to relate to him.
Yeah, that's a story that I've heard about. I don't know that much about, but Dig Thug in the building. Shout out to you. I ain't seen you through here in a minute. Glad to have you aboard. Thank you for supporting the stream. He says it's a cuckoo bird. I did not know that's where the term cuck came from. I gotta do some research on that after the show to make sure we getting the small facts right. But no, shout out to you. Shout out to you. Do appreciate you. Shout out to everybody supporting the stream. Make sure you hit the like button. If you're new here, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Go ahead. Whoever I think that was Hood trying to jump in. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to comment on something about the attack on masculinity. And this is something that I've been noticing for quite a while when it comes to black conversations, especially involving like the mating dynamic or whatever. Because we have such a weird relationship to like race and white folk and all that, black masculinity doesn't really track with traditional objective definitions of masculinity. Black masculinity, as the way black people commonly accept masculinity, is only oppositional to whiteness. Because the minute you try to do a black masculinity as a pure masculine concept, you go right, you're put in conflict with women and the natural order of things in the black community. So we can only really have masculinity conversations as skewed through the lens of whiteness or opposition to whiteness. It can never be an objective thing because then it destroys the nature of the black community.
Well, hold on. Let me hop in here real quick. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? Boyce Watkins out of his own mouth. I'm just going to piggyback off what you just said, Hood. He said that his stepdaddy went to his biological father that was in and out of his life with a shotgun in the front seat and said, "Your woman and your son are mine now." So Boyce Watkins at the same time is respecting that type of guy that would do that. Because let me tell you something. You think Boyce Watkins is going to go to the father of his wife's kids with a shotgun and say, "Your woman, your two kids are mine"? He not going to do that.
Son of a bitch.
He not going to do that.
Nah, he ain't on that kind of time. He ain't on that kind of time. Like,
All
even
right.
when he was talking
Hold on,
tough
real
with
quick. Hold on,
Anton.
wait. Shout out to Dig Thug in the building. I didn't realize you sent that when I missed that. He said it's socialism. I think we've moved on from that part of the conversation. I don't even know what you're exactly referring to, but shout out to you. Appreciate you saying what you're saying. Game Changer, you had spoke first when you said son of a bitch. Was that related to the conversation at hand? Or did
Yes,
or there a son of a
absolutely.
bitch in front of you? I thought it was a son of a bitch in front of you in real life for a second. But okay.
No.
What were you about to say? Go ahead.
It's in relation to what brother just said about Boyce Watkins' father and stepfather. So if your father, just get punked out of his wife and kids, then that man is, technically a bitch, meaning that you, Boyce, is a son of a bitch. So that's what I meant when I said son of a bitch. He's a son of a bitch. And he proudly, told the world the story.
Normally we talk about your mama when we do that. That's funny.
Yeah, but there you go. I mean, it's rare, but yes, he is the biological son of a bitch. What the fuck? Like, and he told everybody. Like, he told everybody that, he got bitch DNA in him. Like, what the fuck was that? Like, I mean,
he literally told that story, and then he said his stepdaddy is a real man, while he would never be that man. He'd rather leave with his wallet for that woman that don't respect him. She just riding off the wallet.
Yeah, he's a son of a bitch. Like,
It do definitely look like that.
Hold on a second, Jack. Yeah, I got it. I got to step away for a quick second, but yeah, I got it.
Hey, it do definitely look like that, right? I mean, because, like, Boyce, man, like, even in the Anton conversation, he's like, oh, I may be an asshole. I'm like, no, he's not an asshole, because he's got different energy when he talks to women. He don't talk to women the same way. In one of the particular shows, I was watching it, man, he kind of brought up a topic and tried to play, he threw the rocks and then hit his hands. He brought up a particular topic, and he knew the women were going to jump all over it, so they could say the disparaging thing, so he could hide behind the women. So, like, that story the pastor said, I'm just like, yo, that kind of lines up. Shout out to you, Hood, man, for trolling this man. Talking about, yo, just count the money.
Yeah, when I saw Hood up here, I was like, I gotta come up here and talk some trash with Hood real quick. But Hood, what you think about that though, man? Like the same guy that you talking about, right? The Lion King type guy, whether gotta be Scar or whether you Mufasa, you gonna do it, right? But to not do nothing, to just be caught in the middle like a little hoe, like Boyce, just playing with money. How do like what is that like? What do you have to say for that?
Well, can I say something right quick? Can I respond on the Lion King reference? Just to be clear, Scar attempted to kill Simba because he was somebody else's bastard. He took the mama and all the other lionesses, but first things first, his first thing of duty was to get rid of Simba. He wasn't even being a stepdad. So even in Lion King, no stepdaddies, because lions don't play that crap.
Even for your own
if the Lion King would have kept it real when Simba returned, he would have had a bunch of little brothers by by Scar. I mean, not little brothers. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I said it right. Little brothers. Yeah, they would have kept it real. Yeah, he ain't had no brothers when he came back. That wasn't accurate. He's supposed to have brothers and sisters. But all right, let's roll some more of the tape. Let's roll some more of the tape.
People will just look at that situation and say, those kids. I just don't understand how you could call yourself pro-black and say to hell with all these little black babies. I don't care nothing about these damn kids. All I care about is my liquor, my weed, and my hoes. That's what you have. You have a lot of little 45-year-old children that walk around. Whoa! You see the one guy
he threw so much shit into the cocktail right there. How can you call yourself pro-black? I mean, who said that they are pro-black by the whatever the definition of that is that people talking about online? Is normally a bunch of nonsense. Most of the people I see claiming to be pro-black, but again, it was I got caught up in the blizzard of words or bitch babble. But it circulated back to how could you look at these kids and say you don't care? You only care about your liquor, your weed, and your hoes. Again, if you're not willing to take care of other people's kids, you're a degenerate. All roads in his argument leads back to that. You're a degenerate if you're not willing to do that, when he know damn well that most of the people that have popularized the arguments of don't do the stepdaddy dance are non-degenerates. So I mean, that's just some manipulation stuff. Going back to what we said about the actual cuck bird, how they have to manipulate somebody into taking care of their kids.
Hey, PR, it doesn't this go against even what he said earlier in this clip? He said, "Hey, everybody ain't supposed to be like raising kids, right, or something to that effect. That's not on everybody." But now he's like trying to lump everybody in. So which is it? Is it Uchi Wally or is it Will Mike?
No. What he meant by that is he's saying some of the people that he describing, they're not fit to do the job anyway. That's what. So I know what he was saying. The internal logic of that part. Basically, these guys who he's trying to depict as guys only care about their weed, they liquor, and they hoes. They ain't up for the job. That's more or less what he's saying. And then there are people who probably are qualified, if that's the right word. They're up. They could do it effectively, but they're saying no. That's the person that he don't. Hold on. That's the person that he's not addressing fully here. You know, that's what I would like to hear him address. Then we can have then it's a legitimate discussion, a legitimate argument between people who legitimately disagree. But if he's gonna turn that dude into Pookie, if he's gonna turn the dude who's saying he won't do it, into all actuality, the guy who he's trying to make it seem like the guy who's saying he won't do it is the guy that he's describing. That's actually the guy who got her pregnant. If we're gonna keep it all the way real and follow it to his logical conclusion, he's merging those two different men together. The guy that knocked her up and the guy that's saying, no, I'm not taking care of your kids that you had with some random dude. That he's describing that the actions and behaviors of that random dude. He's describing the actions and behavior of the baby daddy that knocked her up and didn't give two shits. That's what he's trying to describe. So it's a different thing in that regard. Shout out to who we got in here. New Jordan era in the building says, I want to know from Dr. Watkins what great black leaders have been a stepfather. That's an interesting question. I can't give you one. I can't name one.
But what he's doing is this is a political economic move as well. He's almost making the same argument that Killer Mike is making. That's what I was wanting to say real quick.
Also,
because he's pretty much saying
what argument did Killer Mike make? Well, first lay out clear what argument did Killer Mike make.
He's pretty much saying there should be like a socialistic form of taking care of children. Like we should all put into a fund of, like we already kind of do it with Medicaid, but there should be like a bigger fund for taking care of children, and that we should all pretty much through taxation pay into it. Because if we all are having sex with these women that have kids, and whether you're the father or not, we're still pretty much in and out of those houses. So we should be taxed for it. So therefore, it should be a flat.
Wait. We should be. Hold
on, wait, real quick. Now I get Dig Thug's comment when he said it's socialism, because yeah, you are describing some socialism of raising kids ultimately. But yeah, go ahead.
No, but the caveat of you fucking them, it's not really Christian. I think that's you with the distortion. The caveat.
I don't know how I'm not hearing that. Oh my God, it's so much peaceful now. God damn it, keep that shit turned off, Christian. Unless you're talking. Man, everything just got so peaceful. All right.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, GC.
But no, I mean, to say that you owe a woman anything for fucking her, but the penis you give her is it's not socialism. It's actually you should pay for the sex. Like, you don't that doesn't make. You see what I'm saying, brother? Like, I mean, it would be socialism if everybody had to pay into it, and no more, no less, depending on if you fucked a woman or not. They're saying like the people that she fucked is obligated, somehow to put money into the kids, school clothes fund. And that's ridiculous. You don't owe those bastards nothing. That's the way I look at it. And as far as the socialism aspect goes, I do.
Not only that.
Go for it.
Go for it, Hood. You
Okay,
got it.
so
Wait, here he come. He just unmuted. You ready?
Man, I'm sorry. I didn't think you were still going on. But the thing. I think we have a lag. I'm sorry. But the thing is, how are you having private pussy but public penalty? Like, that's ultimately the problem, right? The government is acting almost like a pimp. That Killer Mike is making an argument to turn the government into a pimp. Where, like, listen, they're all my hoes, and because y'all fuck my hoes, all you men owe me.
that's what child support is essentially. But yeah, you're right. That's what they're doing.
Wait, hold on. I just want to make sure. I want to make sure I'm not tripping. Killer Mike said that Pastor, I think that's your name. Shout out to you. State again what Killer Mike's argument is.
Killer Mike's argument is pretty much that to round it out, because he has you should really listen. You should really actually listen to it. But to round it out, he thinks there should be a flat rate, pretty much, or a taxable rate to help children across the board. And we already do this with Title IV, Title IX, Title VIII. We already kind of do this. So if we inflate the funds for it, we can pay for children across the board. And so his argument
is different. Hold on, wait. Explain. Hold on, wait, real quick. I want him to explain what's different in what he's saying than what's already happening.
The argument, there's no difference. All he's saying is we should add more money to it to make sure that children are taken care of. And all that should help out.
Okay, here's the problem. Right quick. With all those titles,
there's more.
Those are benefiting. I'm saying with the ones that he mentioned, those are to the women, though. You see, I don't mind taking care of the kids in an orphanage, and I think that every orphanage should be like the best, leather seating, air conditioning, and Xbox for every kid out there, and somebody to come and pretend to be Santa Claus every year. I want more spending for the kids while the mama get nothing. I want the mama to get absolutely nothing while her kids is thriving in the orphanage, getting the best college prep education that our tax dollars can afford. I believe in that, but see, the titles that you mentioned isn't really for the kids, it's for the bitch. It's like, okay, we're paying these women to raise their own fucking kids. Is what's going on right now. And I don't think that, one, they're qualified to raise their own kids, and two, we should be giving them money for that. They're employing themselves by fucking.
Oh, well said.
Yeah, I mean, they created a perverse incentive, and then here we are, right? But then, what Christian said earlier, you don't address the root cause, you address a bunch of symptoms. And then then they act like we're the cause when, a lot of us don't have kids, or the ones that do have kids, they try to do that within a certain structure and they're in the kids' lives. I'm not the problem. You know what I'm saying? So why are you trying to get me to be the solution and not even trying to nicely persuade me or talk to me you know what I'm saying? Like a big homie or even somebody that's cool was like, nah, nigga, you gonna take these kids. Nah, no, I ain't.
I think the thing with Killer Mike, what he was proposing was essentially a work baby program. Like, if you make a baby, you have to go into a work program. And so, one, there's obviously the taxes, because who's going to pay for all this, right? But then there's two, I don't like the coercive element of it. No matter how you slice it, everybody who's trying to solve the problem only wants to solve the problem from the direction of forcing men to do something. Nobody wants to force women to make better decisions. Nobody wants to alter women's calculations or their baby daddy algorithm. And so no matter what, I just can't go with that, because forcing men to behave better is the easy thing. It's like the sugar, you know what I mean? It's like eating sugar, but it's not medicine. Forcing men to do things just makes you feel good, but it doesn't actually get to the heart of the problem. And all you're going to do is create more resentment from the men and another control mechanism for a woman. Oh, you hit this, now you got to get a job, you punk ass nigga. Like, this whole thing is starting to just be reinforcement of the matriarchy. Government imposed matriarchy, but on steroids now.
It's making sure that every man works while Project 2025 is trying to put every woman to work. They're trying to flip this shit because we got so many women that want equality. They got to get to work to pay for that, to pay for all those bills, and to pay for everything.
Hey,
for it all. We can't pay for it all.
Hey, Hood. Isn't this the new age shotgun marriage though? Just from the government standpoint.
Except it's not marriage.
Well,
like,
a little bit.
In marriage, you get
a little bit though.
It's worse than that. It's worse than that because in marriage you actually get to fuck your wife. Like in this, you're actually paying for the pussy you used to get. Like, so no, it's worse than that. It's shotgun divorce. Really, it's just like, you're gonna have all of the problems of marriage, and you're gonna pay all the bills of marriage, but you're not actually going to, get an apple pie at the end of the day, which is what you got, in shotgun marriages back in the day.
But the problem why this is going to work, I'm gonna tell you, but game changer. The reason why I'm gonna tell you why it's going to work, because if this doesn't work, children don't eat. That's why this is going to work.
No. But you see, here's the thing. What's that bastard that was in A Christmas Story? Or what's that kid's name?
Oh, Tiny Tim.
Tiny Tim. Yeah, Tiny Tim. Yeah, so why not send them to the place that you send Tiny Tim to? Like, right. They had a solution to the problem back then, Like, if your dad's broke and your mom's a hoe, then you send them to, then you become Tiny Tim. Like, why not do that? That was the ultimate solution. Orphanariums have been around since Roman times. Why do we leave them with the bitch? Like, why do we leave them with somebody with a proven track record? Huh? So the answer is paying.
No. Like here's the only reason why I say I don't know if that's the answer. The only reason why I say I don't know if that's the answer is because do we really trust the government to be raising these kids? Now, like, look, in the short term, maybe with a small amount, I don't trust either.
First of all,
I'm biased. I'm biased. I think the government could do a decent job raising the kids because, case in point, look what the government could do to people who go through military boot camp in only 8 to 14 weeks, how they can get them to be on time, perform a task, perform a job, dress, talk, act a certain way. The government can do this very effectively. But the thing is, it is unpopular in today's climate to remove children out of their household.
Yeah, no. Save that for criminals, bro. Save that for criminals.
We shouldn't be.
Don't do that to children. And this is another point where I gotta say, hold the line, bro.
It's not
doing
that.
I'm sorry, let me finish this. Hold on real quick. The government owning the children was the whole point anyway. So don't give in to an answer where the government owns the children.
No, they don't. We don't need.
Hold on, real quick. Hold on, y'all. Hold on for a second. I'm gonna go to Devin. I got you next. But House of Cons, I think that's how I say that. Y'all can't change men, so shut up. Listen and learn what we really think. I believe he's referring to Boyce Watkins' commentary on that. Shout out to you, dude. Thank you very much for the super chat. Do appreciate you. All right, go ahead, Devin. You was trying to jump in there.
We don't need any more mother-raised boys, and we don't need any more boys and girls raised by the system either. We don't need to be encouraging the worst among us to reproduce. That's the ugly truth of it. And you give the people on the other side an opportunity to talk about race and IQ, but look at the stats when you're allowing this particular class within Black American society to just reproduce, and you say, okay, now we're going to figure out a way so that all of these kids, no matter how they were created and what kind of home they're growing up in or not growing up in or what they're being exposed to, have something to eat, because we want to be able to go in there and stick our dicks in these bitches and free of consequence, right? With a conscience free of consequence, because we got a safety net that's going to take care of all the kids. No, man, that's responsible for the dependency culture, and that is responsible for gangbanging, and that's responsible for all of the triflingness, the black on black crime. Yes, I'm going to say it, and all of the triflingness that we have to deal with right now. We need to have our own fathers in the home. We need to test DNA for every single birth. Test DNA. Half of us, my DNA is in the system. Most of our DNA is in the system. Track down the fathers of every child that's born. Make that father responsible. Don't let somebody lie on somebody else and commit paternity fraud. Right? Free up the men who are not responsible for the children that are, listen, man, don't make men pay for other men's mistakes, man. I mean, it's just that simple. Free up the men so that they can be making good decisions no matter how many hoes they fucked in the past, and get married to a good woman and create a family, because the children of those families with the mother and father present, those are the kids that I want to associate with my kids. Yeah. I don't want my kids to be associating with kids that are raised by the system. Sorry. I don't want my kids to be associated with single mother raised kids. Sorry. I said it.
All right. I'm going to roll some more of the tape. I do want to comment on, because I remember with Killer Mike, maybe I didn't see the full conversation. I do remember he was saying something along the lines of it should be mandatory if a guy, boy, or whatever the hell, young man, get a chick pregnant, he's mandatory and got to go into the trades or something like that. He was pushing for something like that. I remember it now, and I thought it was interesting. But it really, what that amounts to is not pushing for a policy that would, incentivize families or people being together. It's just basically just, okay, you knock the chick up, you're going to be duty bound, required to get this, skilled trade. And it's like, I don't know the end game with that. I mean, it's two people. It's still a family separate. He did say put some incentives in there if they do choose to get married. I remember he did say that. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I got to look up his position and see if there's some extra nuance on it. I don't understand, but it was a.
How would you track this?
It was a weird argument, but I am curious.
How would you
say something?
How like, just from a systems and because I deal with census counts in organization. How would you even track? This would be insane to have to track this sort of enforcement mechanism. This would be insane. The most we should do is when you get born, every birth should be registered by a DNA test with the mom and dads. That way, if a child, basically, you can now establish lineage for medical reasons and for estate reasons after the fact. Basically, the things that matter for medical and estate reasons, and then if there's ever any sort of civil action where things have to be a paternity or maternity has to be established, such as someone's like, for instance, I had a friend in high school that the mom and dad gave up the first kid they had for adoption because they were really young. They got married a few years later and they had a whole other set of kids, but there was just a random kid out there. And the kid popped up when the kid was like 20 years old and they were all 15, 16. Like, that would be the reason why you establish births.
That wouldn't matter if they didn't plan on you even they don't need you're talking about legacy. They don't care about legacy. They care about accounting of numerical people that they can get taxation off. And there's the reason why the childbirth across the world is down. They're even mad at Kate Middleton because she was looking like a bad mother. And there's a big scandal about that. This motherhood and getting women to have kids and getting all men to pay for it is a real thing, and it's coming no matter how you look at it. I think what Killer Mike was doing is telling people that this stuff is going to happen. I don't think there's no way around it.
You mind if I interject?
All right, I'm about to roll some more.
They want to pay a dad tax. They want to dad tax. That's they would have it. So basically, once you have a child, once you're a man and you produce a child, whether you're married or unmarried, you now have to pay a 2% dad tax.
You mind
if I interject before you start?
Hold on, wait. I'm sorry. Who said something?
I did. Smooth. I was just gonna say, before you played that video, I'm in Argentina right now, and I just wanted to provide some outside context. Not just for the gang, but just so we can kind of look at this thing with a global eye, because we're moving towards a 24-hour global economy. And so the reason why everybody's looking to America is because we're expected to solve the problems, because just Hungarian dialect, we ultimately cause the problems. Why that matters is such. In Argentina right now, 40% of the nation is in abject poverty. I mean, to the degree that I was going to go get my visa. I was walking in the nation's capital, walking downtown, headed to Banco Nacion. That's like the national bank, right? There are families sleeping outside on the curbs or in mattresses in Argentina. I mean, whole families, moms, dads, children. Like whole families. The concept of a woman being shielded, the concept of a woman just having this all altruistic sense of virtue and just being like devoid and shielded and insulated from the harsh realities of life, her class, her economic structure, and her choices is something that's insulated to first world nations. And it's something that a lot of women in first world nations and of first world nations, and a lot of these arguments and these perspectives are being centered from first world perspectives. But when you really look at this thing monolithically, from a global perspective, and understand it's really like only 5, you know, and there's 8 billion women in 8 billion humans in the world. Like a lot of not just American men, but a lot of American women don't understand like how the veil's being lifted in these countries, and a lot of other countries are starting to see like what it actually looks like and how much more it doesn't look like what they think it is. And you know, when you look at the fact that, like I said, in Argentina, American culture is monolithic. Black culture is a part of pop culture. So you see Argentinians down here with pale skin rocking dreads. You'll see people like, you know what I'm saying? Like you see people down here with, you know, tattoos that look gothic. You'll see people that look like rock and roll, or people drive Harleys. Like American pop culture is like all over the place, but they don't view it like we view it. Like grunge is like a suburb thing. Like hip hop is like a black culture thing. Like salsa merengue is like, you know, it's Caribbean, but it's derived from like black culture, so on and so forth. They just view it as all American. And so that's a macro point to the micro issue at hand, is that we're looking at this thing from you know, a very linear perspective, and we don't realize how nuanced it is more specifically. Like, you know, to even argue with these females in certain capacities is pointless, because they're just very ungrateful. And if they really were to look at the world and for what it is and how it functions, they'd understand like you really a deep breath from being fucked running. Like running. Yeah, like it's an expression like down bottom. It means like you know what I'm saying? Just,
I kind of like that one.
You feel what I'm saying though? Like imagine somebody trying to smash somebody while they're running. You hitting a chick from the back and she running. What you do?
Yeah, that's what.
Stop running. You hook underneath that waist by the pelvic, bitch. Stop running, and you go to work, right? So if you fucked running, what happens? You getting piped regardless. Just relax.
Did it on horseback, never did it running.
You get what I'm saying? I did it in the slide, real life, from the top, not the bottom. Oh God, I had my feet hooked to the side because I grew up in foster care. My pop said I couldn't get no box in the house. I had to work around the system. Real life, but like this the coldest shot about it all, big dog. So I'm down here, right? I'm a Florida boy, born and raised, like to the bus. You know what I'm saying? But like, so like, it's crazy because like I said, growing up in foster care, like I grew up in a town, so I have a very like antiquated and country sort of cultural conditioning. But I also grew up in foster care, and I grew up in 90s hip hop culture. So a lot of my caregivers and a lot of my teachers were from New York. So I have a very northern like influence, if that makes sense.
So growing up in foster care, are you glad, or at least appreciative?
What's the best thing that ever happened to me, my nigga?
That the funds were there.
No. It's not even that. I had the craziest fucking life ever. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like when they put me in the foster care, they tried to put like they can't put you in homes. And the one thing you have to understand about like children, especially black children, the minute you're under the welfare system and your child is born, it's already property of the state. You are no longer a ward of your child because you and your child are technically minors, therefore requiring a major that needs to guard you in a custodial capacity, that being the government. You get me? So the minute you and it works the same with prison. You know what I'm saying? So when they talk about us being minors, they're not talking about us being a minority group as far as population, because fucking Jews are the biggest minorities and they run everything. They're talking about us not being psychologically competent by way of nationality and legal standing to be able to govern ourselves. Therefore, we need a custodial guardian, i.e. the mother effing government.
Thank you.
And so I know this as a foster child. This ain't no hotep.
Y'all are making the Boyce Watkins. Y'all are making the Boyce Watkins killer my argument.
You know what I'm saying? No. I'm not making it. I'm saying this. No, listen. Hear me out. Listen, I'm not saying I'm not making the argument for them. What I'm saying is their cultural conditioning.
Time out, bruh. Real quick. Whoever that was talking down there who said he's making the Boyce Watkins Killer Mike argument. Explain how he was making it, because I must have missed something. I didn't
did too. Okay, so I'll explain that really quickly, extremely quickly. What you're saying is you grew up in a foster system. If there was not that system that Boyce Watkins is saying that men, people, society come in and take care of you, especially men working hard and taxation to take care of you, rather than your mother and your father pulling together to get you and raise you, and so therefore we didn't need.
Oh no, brother, no. You misread me. I'll let you land, but you misread me.
Trash. I'm not talking trash.
No, I get you. I'll let you land.
No, you're not talking trash. I think the problem is,
and I don't take offense either.
Yeah, you're conflating somebody coming in doing the stepdaddy dance with the foster care system taking care of somebody. That's different.
It's the same. It's the same concept.
No, you're right. You're right.
Hold on, wait the mother, the brother who was raised in a foster care system. You know, I hate to say it, but your biological mom didn't profit from that. You know,
she did, but in a different way.
Oh yeah, okay.
She did, but
I don't want to go.
She did, but in a different way. Because you got to take into consideration when we went into foster care, my mama had 5 kids. When she got out of prison, she had no kids and remarried. So she won in the end. Trust and believe. And I reconnected with her after my 18th birthday. So that's how I figured this out.
But what he's saying, and this is the difference. And Game Changer wasn't speaking against what you said. It's two different things here. On one hand, there's a kid was born in less than ideal situations. If there's a way for that kid to benefit, rather, through he's an orphan, through the foster care system, that's fine. If government dollars got to take care of orphans, that's fine. When those government dollars are taking care of the mama, that's different. Now we're not taking care of kids who were born in an undesirable situation. We're taking care of women who's living an undesirable life, and they want people to pay for it.
Let's also take in consideration that we cut out the agent, we cut out the representing agent being the government, and then we just basically are taking the money directly from the individual, and it's going to the new institution, which now then becomes the black inocracy. But no, let me take 2 steps back so we can get 10 steps forward. To comment on the brother Game Changer, you are pseudo correct to the degree that in actuality you kind of just brought me to a very crazy revelation. So like I said, I grew up in a town, not a city, and that makes a very big difference, especially in the South, when you understand how the Monahan report works, because the South, when you grow up in the South, is very much a gynocracy, but what you have is a bevy of readily disposable men, and that's just the short and long of it. That I can't really put that any other way other than that. So even though I grew up in the South, and yes, I did grow up in foster care, and if I wasn't in the orphanage, I was generally around older black men and women. So I was raised by mostly old black men, but the majority of those old black men weren't even fostering me. They were related to, or might have been a sugar daddy of, or were in the church of the old black women. The old black women of that generation had enough sense to know that I was a mannish young boy, and I needed to have discipline, and I needed to have structure. So they sent me to the men because ass whippings weren't enough. You understand? But the only reason why my life went the way it went, and it worked the way it worked in foster care, was because I grew up abject and adjacent to the hood while being in the hood. The only thing that really kept me out of a lot of situations in the hood, which I still got in once I got out of foster care, was the fact that you had to go take a background check just to go have a sleepover at somebody's house. And we all know once you lift up dirt under anybody's rug, you know what I'm saying? So that wasn't going down, which kept me in the house. You know what I mean? Like I was outside and I played outside in the streets and stuff like that. But so like I had like somewhat of a normal black childhood. You know what I mean? Still dealt with all of the things, same rites of passages. But the difference between what I think Dr. Boyce Watkins is describing, what Killer Mike is describing, and my life experiences is the agency that was in place to institute my placements and the what's the word I'm looking for? The vetting process. There was more of a rigorous vetting process by the foster care agency, and they still don't get it right, because I ran into a couple of precious kind of crazy situations. It was, you know, I'm straight now. I'm not dead, so it is what it is. But yeah, it's not what it's made out to be. There's a lot of they can't place kids and they got way more kids than they have homes. So when you go into foster care, the first thing they do is they put 3 letters on you. So if they can't place you in a home, they put you in an institution, like a psychological institution. You understand?
All
So
right.
therefore, there has to be
real quick.
funding.
Hold on, wait, time out. All right. Well, real quick, shout out to Latoya Young. Can't find a comment where you said you subscribe. I do appreciate you being new here and subscribing to the channel. Shout out to anybody that's new here. Hit the like button, subscribe, all of that good stuff. I want to play the rest of this tape because I'm getting tired of looking at Boyce Watkins right here. So I just want to run through the rest of it real quick. So let me just run through this and we'll resume the conversation.
Appreciate you letting me up too, by the way.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
And shout out Hoodservative. That's how I found you. I've been watching this stream all morning, and then you came on, so I just popped up.
That's what's up. Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
There was one guy when she said she had 7 kids, he pulled his sunglasses down like, "Ooh, I ain't messing with that." And
he don't even know what show he was watching. He was reacting to some Ace Metaphor stuff. That's like Simp Central, so that's not what the guy was looking like that for. But anyway,
I'm not saying that somebody needs to go, that he needs to go be with her. He shouldn't try it because he's not qualified. He can't do the job. He's going to fail. But what I am saying is that that nobody on that panel is qualified to tell her what she's capable of in her life.
So I thought this.
All right, yeah, that was the end of it. This video was, yeah, I knew he was at the end of it. I just wanted to roll to the end of it and then get Boyce off the screen and let me.
BR. That is
what I'm saying is like, the reason why nothing's incapable is because there's guys like him, and there's a whole, believe it or not, there's a whole lot of guys that are willing to pay into this taxation system for this exact behavior. I'm telling you, like, the people that won't pay for it are a minority. The people that will pay for this stuff that happen are a majority. That's just why Boyce Watkins and them.
No, there's no way. The majority of men are single, do not have kids. Well, regardless of race, the majority of men do not have kids.
But they will.
I mean, they won't do it
though.
I don't mean they won't do it.
Men that got daggone nieces and nephews, they be buying some of the most extravagant gifts. The nieces and nephews. So some kids don't get a power wheel unless they uncle that ain't got no job, but this an engineer buy it for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of these kids don't get a lot of nice gifts unless sometimes the uncle or the.
Okay, yeah, I get it. I am that uncle. Yes, I am that uncle. Guess what? I have no issue doing something for my nephew, because if my nephew is behaving in a way or doing something I don't like, I can call my dad or my brother and say, yo, your son was over here at our house for 4 hours on Saturday and he did XYZ. I don't appreciate that. Or he broke my chair or something like that. I have some recourse to deal with the here. Okay. When you just talk about when I pay into Medicaid or Medicare or any of these other transfer payment programs, that money is just going. I don't get any say. If they want to sit around and smoke menthol cigarettes every day, they still get a chance to go down to the hospital and get treated for their lung cancer. I don't mean to say it like that. I know it sounds mean, but we're talking.
No, I'm just laughing at the menthol cigarettes.
Yeah, because I be smoking menthols.
And you're going to get cancer.
Well, they don't sell Newports in outside of America, so that was a very shocking realization. As far as like how they're very much targeted to Negroes.
Hey, the current administration talking about banning menthols too, like last year.
They did in California, if I understand it right.
Yeah, they were talking about doing it in New York too, but I don't think it gained traction because
niggas ain't having it.
They said
niggas ain't having it.
What's the purpose of that? Not that I'm some menthol cigarette advocate. I don't.
Well, no, the difference between Newports and any other cigarette.
Hold on, wait. I just wanted to ask the question first. What's the rationale behind banning menthol cigarettes specifically? Go ahead.
Chemicals.
Well, they're the worst for you, but I mean, more than anything, it's just some indirect ploy at Negro whispering. It really don't got nothing to do with nothing. Because if you ban cigarettes, like people if you ban one, they're just gonna go to the other, and then like it's the same thing they do with anything. So you ban Newports, but then you introduce a new cigarette with similar similar addictive properties, just with new chemicals. But it's just Negro whispering. That's all.
I have a hard time. Hold on, real quick. I have a hard time believing that the goal in doing that is they want to stop black people from smoking. But so I mean that's why I'm thinking it must be something extra. Hold on, wait. I'm trying to figure out, is it something like extra potent in the menthol cigarette?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's fiberglass. It's literally fiberglass.
But is this thing that's so potent that they've done their science and they say that you know, we probably need to take this off the market.
Brother, they did it before they put it on the market.
Cigarettes kill, but menthol cigarettes really kill. Like, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, to get that flavor, you got to have chemicals in that shit, man.
Yeah, it's not, well, it's not even just that. It's you know how it go. It's all good when niggas do it. When everybody else start doing it, it's a problem. More non-whites are smoking, more non-black people are smoking Newports because of the influence of black culture, to the degree that they made Newport Reds. Niggas don't smoke non-mentholated cigarettes. Why would you make a non-mentholated cigarette and you're a menthol brand?
Yeah, so basically this menthol,
You get me?
This menthol cigarette thing it's the election cycle du jour thing that they're using for black people. That basically a lot of the black
Negro whispering.
Yeah, they're basically using this as the topic for this particular election cycle. That they're saying that the Democrat Party is going to do for black. Look, we got rid of menthol cigarettes out of your local drugstore, or liquor store, CVS, or whatever it is, and they're going to use that as, see, Democrats do care about black people.
That's going to work against them.
But
black people not cool with you. Even if you're doing it for their own good, niggas ain't cool with you taking something away from them that they like.
No, they won't.
So
Yep.
that's gonna work against them.
They going against menthols. They going against chips and sneakers.
They not trying to get rid of hot Cheetos, are they? Come on now.
No, because there was a tax on them, and the Biden, you know, his little speech he did. He said he's going to make sure
Obama started that shit.
He said he's going to make sure you get more chips than air in your Cheetos bag, and he said you can get a whole Snickers for less taxes. Like this shit is crazy. What they trying to get us to vote on?
Half price grape drink, half price strawberry soda.
They're saying, because I do real quick, because I do got an issue with, because I remember like when I buy my my regular plain Lay's potato chip, because I'm square. I don't do the flaming hot or the barbecue or none of that tangy ranch stuff. I do plain chips. But I remember back when you used to pay 25 cents for that little bag of Lay's potato chips. They used to actually fill it up, and then they made it, and then now that little bag is like damn near $1, and they only fill it. It's only like a quarter of it full. So they saying that with the flaming hot Cheetos, they gonna fill the bag back up.
Yeah, you remember they used to have 3 sizes?
Keep the tags.
Remember they used to have 3 sizes?
Tags. They're just gonna fill the bag up.
If they fill that bag up, hey, if they start filling them bags up, I might be with them. They might get me.
Yeah, but in the long run, it like them getting involved with that is not good. Like, because that could come more on the customer side. Because so if people stop, like, you know what I'm saying, buying the stuff and say, yo, you don't fill up the bags, they would have to change their policies and quicker than government getting involved. Government gets involved, and hell, like, it's probably gonna double or triple the cost of the bag. It'll be full though.
Well, my biggest thing is like the one thing I understand as a melanated man, and like just growing up in and out of like court systems, the only thing that matters in this country is case precedent and reasonable doubt. And that works unilaterally in and out of the court system, right? As far as whenever you set a precedent in any one capacity, what you've done is introduce parity into the market. And America's not a country, it's a corporation. So anytime you introduce parity into the market, i.e. the corporation of America, the market is going to then inflate based off of that parity. Then it's going to adjust and regulate it. You know what I mean? Uber, streaming, fucking OnlyFanning, what else? Electric cars, the gig economy, whether you're postmating, Uber eating, so on and so forth. Over the last decade, we've witnessed a massive amount of stimuli by way of parity within the market, so much so that the market is almost overly bombarded with stimuli to the degree that nothing's really breaking through. Everything is just kind of like everybody's fighting for third place, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Hey, do be careful. Do be careful with that, because like there's a lot of stuff to try to get rid of anything that can give you agency, including the gig economy. So in California, they passed something called like the PRO Act, and they have something moving through right now that's kind of similar to where it gets through that. And like, say if you wanted to hire an Uber, like, you know what I'm saying, in the state of California, or like even like a wedding, like somebody for a wedding band, like, you know, a performer for your wedding, they would treat you as an employer,
right?
Not like a subcontractor.
Right.
And this type of stuff right here is crazy.
So then you
man.
have to pay different taxes, and you have to start itemizing things.
Well, not just that. You have to pay their Social Security and all that
Right.
stuff for this
Now
one
there's
gig.
insurances involved.
Yeah. Like it's a way to destroy the gig economy.
Oh yeah.
Without like actually like attacking it directly, and then like, and you know what I'm saying, getting rid of the hustle economy. So now you can't make your little dollars.
Homie, I'm with you 1,000. I lived off North and Wilton. I lived off 3rd and Rampart. I lived in Hollywood for like 6-7 years. I was making music for a little bit when I went out there. My dog was the assistant to Dan McCarran and some lady named Kate, something, I forget what she was, but very, very big people. Like, I saw the hit list. I know how the shit goes in Hollywood. I know what Warner Chapel does. Like, if you go to Crave Cafe right now in North Hollywood between the hours of 11:30 and 1:15, you're gonna run into somebody's kid. And I mean somebody's kid who's very famous, and it's like a fucking Lord of the Flies out there. They leave their kids to roam the streets like stray dogs. It's crazy. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, real quick. Machismo TV in the building. Shout out to you. He says, fun facts: menthol cigs are considered women's cigs globally. Are you seriously the ones that's the most potent? I don't know. A little bitty chick. A little bitty 100-pound Asian chick hit some menthol cigarettes real hard, she'd be fucked up. I don't know. I mean, are you smoking that? Anyway, says when I was overseas, the men would clown me for smoking menthols. That's crazy. That don't even sound right. But shout out to Machismo TV, and I normally would play this again at the end, but no better time than now to go ahead and play it.
Welcome to Machismo TV, the ultimate destination for modern men seeking to upgrade their lifestyle. Subscribe to Machismo TV and Saul T-Balls. We stream daily from 12 midnight to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the best male-centric content. Highlight reels without reviewing or providing any editorial bias to the content. We have done so much, with so little for so long, we are now qualified to do anything, with nothing.
Shout out to Machismo TV. The link to that link to the channel Machismo TV should be pinned to the top of the chat. Click the link, go subscribe, and all of that good stuff. You know what to do. But all right. Moving on. Let's keep it going. I forgot where we was at. We started talking about flaming hot Cheetos and menthol cigarettes and all kinds of stuff. Kind of off topic, but let's pick it back up. We was talking about the whole Boyce Watkins trying to cajole men into doing the stepdaddy dance, and you ain't a real man if you're not doing that. Let's get some well, we probably shut it down at the right at 3:00. So let's go ahead and get some final commentary on that. Anybody want to jump in on that subject? Go ahead.
Okay, this is true hype. Like, man, this dude is so full of BS, man. Because he said so many contradictory things on different streams and all that stuff. And I know, like, well, it's like every about year time frame, whatever, he gets on some like kick or whatever where he wants to like do something. And I'm like, this dude, man, is something else, man. Like, this is all BS. And I'm like, how you gonna sit up here and tell somebody they need to be responsible for something that they didn't do? They don't have a hand in. I mean, because you want me to be responsible, but you're not going to give me the tools to, you know what I'm saying, give me the authority. Because if it's all said and done or whatever, like the stepdaddy gets treated like trash. Yep. And like the way everything works right now, if the woman calls an 800 number because guess what, I done said something to offend her feelings, regardless of if I'm actually even threatening or not, I get to go away and I get to, you know, somehow get my resources taken from me. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. And like, but he has no accountability on the women's side. He don't say nothing to them.
So all right, Leon 008. I just saw what you sent me. I was just about to pull the trigger and play it, but I saw that it's from CNBC, and everybody been sticklers lately about flagging you for playing their stuff. And CNBC, that's 3.37 million subscribers. That's a big channel. When they talk to YouTube listens. They probably gonna give me a little copyright claim. So I'm not even gonna mess with it. not even gonna mess with it. But I see that you sent me a video on why you said why I sent you a DM why the government wants to take drugs, guns, and cigarettes away from men. The video is titled "Why Men Die Younger Than Women and How to Fix It." So I think the gist of the video, they're going to be talking about how if they get guns out of the hands of men and drugs, cigarettes, or whatever, then they could possibly make us stop dying from killing ourselves and killing each other. I think I'm assuming that's going to be ultimately.
If that's the case, why they have cheffins and acid splashes in London? You know, the cheffin is. I said if drill music in London is primarily is centered around like what they call running a drill, like running down on you, queffing you or cheffing you or shanking you, and they got things called like shanks, queffs, and boras. A bora is like a small sword, you know, like an Arabian sword. You know what I'm saying? When these dudes practice, like they got a whole thing, they hit you in your chest and your neck and your lungs. Like they got a whole situation. Like when they run down on you, they hop down on you on little petty motorcycles and they bust down efficiently and it goes down. Like it's Arabian style, like sword fights in the streets of London, all Africans.
Yeah, so damn.
So guns. What I'm trying to say,
Africans in London sword fighting.
Well, it's in Yardyman, but you know how that goes.
Yeah, but that sounds like a good movie.
It does, but you get what I'm saying. So stopping guns ain't gonna stop shit.
I get what you're saying, but no, you're basically making the argument that you get rid of the guns, people find another way to kill people. You know, that's essentially the argument. And you know, people that I've talked to from Kenya, you know, they say that they have a lot of stabbings out there to the point to where if they had access to guns to the degree that we had access to guns, those stabbings would go down and the shootings would go up. Mm-hmm. So basically, people going to kill because people going to kill because they. That's the general gist of the argument. So they're not gonna stop male violence by doing that, by limiting laws and rights. I don't know what you do about male violence. You know, they make a big fuss about it. Most of that violence is committed against other men. I do think it's kind of baked into the cake of human nature that a percentage will be violent, and I don't know what you do about that.
I think it's understanding, and I think it's cultural. I think it's just cultural conditioning. When the Nobel Prize winner was getting as much viewership on the radio fireside as the Grammys is, where was our culture? You know what I'm saying? And so it really is like nature and nurture. It's a combination of both. So it's conditioning. Mm-hmm. More specifically, we keep talking about these ratchet ass females, but who do they celebrate? They celebrate compromised men with lower intelligence and hyper aggression. You know what I'm saying? And so like. You know, when we look at the Boyce Watkins, when we look at the Derek Jackins, when we look at all of these brothers, I look at big dumb niggas who, if they wasn't dick slinging, wouldn't be able to do a goddamn thing in the society. And I don't mean to talk about our people like that, but I'm just speaking as a man who's had to literally develop himself on all fronts. You know what I'm saying? And so I know what it looks like because I've been every stage of what a black man is. I've been the Pookie, I've been the jailbird, I've been the scholar, I've been the educated lame, I've been the striver, I'm now a corporate chef. You understand? Like, so like, you know, I've never lived with a woman, lived off a woman or depended on a woman, but I could definitely say when I had no standing in the world and I had a lot more urbanized demeanor and I was a lot more aggressive, I had no problems getting women.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel you. Shout out to, let me botch this name real quick. Tine Brazil Senior. Thank you for the 40K Colombian. I think that's from Colombia, if I'm not mistaken. Shout out to you either way, nonetheless. With RM, translate that to US dollars for me real quick. I don't know exactly what that is, or if somebody on the panel knows off the top of their head.
That's probably like $35.
I'm thinking it's 20 because it's orange, and orange super chats normally come in with the around 20. So I think it's probably closer to 20.
Yeah, because I'm in Argentina and it's 1,000. It's 1 to 1,000. So like 40, 40. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But anyway, shout out to you. He says, love your content. Check out my book, Passport Bros. I talk about Dr. Boyce and Mr. Daniels. You know what? I'll do you one better. if you got a book, you said check out my book, Passport Bros. Are you saying you got a book called Passport Bros? I'll bring you on for an interview.
What's the book?
I mean, I put my email in the chat room so he can email me. Yeah. Let me know where to. Oh, that's $10. That's $10. $10.46 to be exact. Yeah. Hit my email. Give me a link to the book and the whole works and all of that. And yeah. No, we'll talk about it. We'll do an interview. So I do you one better. But no, shout out to you. Appreciate you supporting the stream. Glad you like the content. But all right, where was we at? Drugs, taking drugs and cigarettes to try to stop American men from being violent. Y'all think that can work? You think is anything they can do to legislate Americans out of being violent? Y'all think I think that's possible.
Well, that's what they're hoping UBI would do, actually.
Universal basic income. So giving everybody
no. That's the theory. Because what their theory is, so we had the COVID lockdowns. If you look at during the COVID lockdowns, you were giving everybody money, okay? Everything, all their basic needs were provided for. Crime plummeted. The violent crime in this country plummeted. They were able
all right, well, hold on. But I got a question. Did it plummet because people were in the house and couldn't go nowhere? Like if they was out and about, they probably would have been some shooting.
Well, that's the part we don't, that they haven't been able to test that portion of it. But if you think about it, lots of times, a lot of violence is proximity. So people were getting their money and doing everything, and even in the bad neighborhoods, people weren't knocking each other off, right? They were just sitting back, doing their crab boils, barbecuing their steaks, smoking the weed, and they were chilling. I mean,
I don't know. I mean,
but what about them people loans?
That's hold on, real quick. Time out. That is an interesting concept that I never buy it. That giving people the basic minimal amount of money that they need, that crime will stop, because it is my view that most of the crimes that people commit against people, it isn't coming from a place of I don't have something, I need to beat you up, kill you, or take it. Like when people break into people's houses, they're not breaking in there. If people were breaking into people's houses, going in there and stealing bread and bologna out of the refrigerator, then I'll be like, hey, then you can make the argument of crime coming from a place of lack. I don't necessarily think that that's what it is. But if they implemented a universal basic income and crime went down, I have to concede. I have to go with the data and concede the point.
Okay, so this is the concept. What drives the underground economy? People wanting to feed their vices, and people who are serving the vices don't have economic opportunity. So what happens, you have an unregulated market where people settle their disputes with violence. So the argument is that if you were to give everybody basic subsistence to survive, housing, food, plus enough to maybe have a couple creature comforts, there would no longer be providers of this. Just to put it in perspective, think about this, like what happened here in Michigan. Marijuana was illegal, and it was all these different things. And when the pandemic kicked off, you could have booze and weed delivered to your house. It went. Just think how quickly that flipped. So what they're essentially saying is, if we could give people their basic needs and a couple creature comforts, that will eliminate crime. And there is somewhat of an argument to that. But the thing is, we know that when you concentrate that into one area, there's other issues. But that's what the theory is. I mean, because we kind of tried this when we had the public housing experiment coming out of World War II, that, if you put everybody into like these big buildings and they have access to food, shelter, this, it would give crime would not be bad. It was like that until certain other things crept in. And then you had the wolves basically realizing that they could exploit the sheep. That all it takes is in a public housing building, 5 or 6 people can corrupt the whole building with 1,000 people in it, because they'll run roughshod. If you're unable to check and regulate those persons to remove them or to protect the flock, then
let me ask you this question. I'm gonna come right back to that super chat that Leon just sent to follow up on that video. But Clay Bigsby, what he's saying right here, he said that's BS. That's the projects, and it doesn't work. I think his argument is essentially they're already doing what you're talking about. If welfare Section 8 isn't the equivalent of universal basic income than what is, and it's still high crime out there. So what do you say to that?
Look, let me make it very clear. I'm not saying that it will work. I'm saying there's a school of thought out there, okay, that if you provide people their basic needs, because see, it all works in the short term or for a defined period of time, but over a continuous period of time, people will eventually, greed sets in and people want to exploit the system. Yes, if you give us all $10,000 a month to sit at home and not do anything, even though for some people $10,000 a month is a pay cut, but if you give them $10,000 a month to sit at home and not do anything, people will be good with that. But humans are inherently greedy, and they're going to say, hey, if I can have $10,001, what can I do to do so? And they will do so via legal or illegal means, because you cannot remove human desire and greed from any equation.
Yeah, you see, with me, and maybe this is just a flaw in my system, where, you know, and by my system, I mean just my brain, my mind, my setup, and just who I am as a person. Yeah, $10,000 a month to sit home and do nothing, that would kill my motivation. Now, when they talk about universal basic income, they talking 1,000. You give me a free 1,000, no, I'm still motivated. Maybe even a free 2,000, I'm still motivated. You know, I don't know where the number is at, where the motivation stopped. Maybe it's 10. I don't know, but 10,000 a month, then I think people would just could be a bump on the log and do nothing. But I think for some people that number is a lot lower than mine. I think there's a percentage of people that you can't give that much money to, and eventually you have no more labor. And you know, it's like I don't know where that number is, and I don't know what the percentage of people is, but you lose labor, and if the enterprising, ambitious people lose the labor of the regular common folk, and then nothing gets made and nothing gets done, and that's where I run into my issues with UBI and socialism as a whole. If it's going that strong with it, it's like the system is going to fall apart if you keep doing that.
It's believed the number is right around about $2,000, $2,500 a month. If once that comes in, people will just say, "Oh, why should I work anymore?" Because we say $2,500 a month, that's about a $45,000, $50,000 a year job. So if you're giving me 50 grand to sit at home, now I'm just not going to go work for 45,000. I'm not going to go work for 55,000. It has to be worth my hassle. I mean, everybody, it's an opportunity cost, right? That's what basically whatever the UBI is. That again, I'm not advocating for UBI. I don't think it's a good idea. There's all sorts of reasons why I don't agree with it. I'm just saying there's a school of thought out there that if you give people enough money, that they will not be violent or engage in criminal illegal activity because they'll have all their needs met.
Yeah, interesting. But Leon is saying the video that he talked about, given regarding his last super chat where he said he sent me something. He said it's not to stop men. They're not trying to limit guns and drugs and ban cigarettes or whatever. He said it's not to stop men from being violent. It's to make us more healthy so that we can continue working longer and pay more into the tax system for women. So it's like some fake we care about you, but no, we need you healthier and living longer so you could pay for these women that Boyce Watkins, want you to go save. So basically y'all can go pay for these women versus hoping that Boyce Watkins begging and pleading men to go dive on the grenade. I think that's more or less with the video. I'm gonna watch the video as soon as we get off of here, but I just didn't want to play it because YouTube been getting real. They've been being stickler, copywritten content. They've been being sticklers about it. But shout out to you. Do appreciate you putting 5 on it. And adding to the show. All right. What we got? We got like 7 more minutes left in the show. Anybody else got anything they want to add to any of these topics before we get the hell up on out of here? Anybody?
Yeah.
Is there anyone else? I forgot what movie is that? I can't think. All right, go ahead.
Mandatory DNA, yo.
100%. I support that. Absolutely, positively. I don't know. It always blows my mind whenever we start talking about that, the women that will be against it. I remember they was talking about that on one of those female shows, not The View. What's the one with Jenny Mai and the Lonnie Love chick? I forgot what it's called. It don't matter. But Lonnie, the what?
The real, but it's off the air now.
The real. Oh, it's off the air. I don't know when they on the air or off the air. They all off the air, as far as I'm concerned. But the real is a clip out there where Lonnie Love is basically arguing with her full chest that no, you cannot have mandatory DNA tests at birth. It's going to create a stigma against the women, and we just can't have that. And then the Asian chick, Jenny Mai, and I think the white chick or somebody on there, they were just like, yeah, that's a good thing. I want him to know for sure that, you know, they was looking at it from a whole different perspective. It was embarrassing.
Mandatory DNA is just like voter ID. If you're against it, you're on some bullshit.
I agree.
If you're against 100%. It, you're on some bullshit.
I agree 100%. But all right, fellas. We about to pack this on up. I'd like to thank everybody who watched the show today. Definitely was a good one. Hit the like button. And with that said,
welcome to Machismo TV, the ultimate destination for modern men seeking to upgrade their lifestyle. Subscribe to Machismo TV and Saul T-Balls. We stream daily from 12 midnight to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the best male-centric content. Highlight reels without reviewing or providing any editorial bias to the content. We have done so much, with so little for so long, we are now qualified to do anything, with nothing.
We've done so much with so little for so long, we are not qualified to do anything with nothing. Make sure you go and subscribe to Machismo TV, and Salty Balls coming through at the buzzer, dropping one in there. He says, bitch, I'm the original Balls. I won. Okay, I still talking about balls in my chat room.
What do we get for $10?
Shout out to Salty Balls.
Ooh, suck on my chocolate salty balls. Put them in your mouth. Put them in your mouth and suck them and suck them.
All right, we getting out of here, y'all. Peace.
All right, y'all.
That's always funny. Hey, thanks for coming up. Hold on. What's your name down there at the bottom?
Baby Smooth.
JB Smooth. That's your name. That's what you go by.
Baby Smooth.
Oh, BB Smooth. I'm sorry. Say that again.
Baby Smooth.
You said baby, like a newborn baby.
Yeah.
Baby?
No,
okay,
no. Yeah, baby, like a newborn baby, but baby is like slang. It's a prefix. You put it before anything, and it's something light.
Gotcha. Yeah. Gotcha. All right.
Game changer. Game changer.
Yeah, appreciate you coming up, man. I like your perspective. All right, I gotta get out of here, y'all. Peace.
All right, peace.
God damn it, what the hell? I don't even know how to end the damn show. I meant to hit end stream and I just clicked the X and left the stream. So I'm still live apparently. That's amazing. Wow. Okay. Now, thank you for coming out, everybody. We getting out of here. Blah, 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 blah. Peace. We gone. All right.